Hello, I'm Jose Hernandez, and I have been using a wheelchair since my accident in 1995.
My name is Andrea Dalzell, and I've been using a wheelchair since I was 5 years old.
I guess if I had one message for the general public, it would be that I appreciate your help. But please, ask first.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that I've actually got everything under control.
I think people get nervous. They don't know how to act, so they pretend I'm not there.
What probably bothers me the most is when waiters talk to my companion and not directly to me.
I think everyone with a disability can relate to that parking spot problem.
We know you're just parking in that disabled spot for a second, but please, don't. We're just looking for the same respect and consideration as everyone else.
United Spinal Association is dedicated to enhancing the quality of life of people living with spinal cord injuries and disorders. Download our disability etiquette booklet at unitedspinal.org.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. They can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Wishes need stars like you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah. And Bonds hits one high. Hits it deep. It is out of here. Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker.
It's time to get up and get your day started. It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable!
Here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Well. Welcome in. It's Friday. It's Friday, everybody. Yeah. Maybe it's a short work week for you, so Friday got here a little quicker than you may have anticipated, but it is a Friday. Good morning to you. Welcome in to Sports 56 Mornings. I am Eli Savoy. Zach Boyd is here as well. No Greg Gaston. Greg returns. Greg will make his triumphant return on Monday here on the program. We come to you live this morning from the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. That would be Family Leisure, and there is no lying about that. Lots of fun things to do for the entire family. Go check out the great deals, great things they have for you at Family Leisure. That's at 2120 Whitten Road. Pools would be nice this time of year. Boy, this week, wouldn't it be nice to be relaxing every day in a pool, because it continues to be hot. Once again today, we will be hot. It will be hot. Already, according to my trusty app, 96 degrees on the old heat index. That's 7 o'clock in the morning. We're already at 96. I don't know what the highest heat index we got yesterday. I think it got over 115 at one point. All I know is it was hot. If you were outside, it was hot. It was ridiculous. And it's been that way every day this week. So we've got excessive heat warnings again. Temperatures once again expected to get up right at that 100-degree mark, maybe over it. Heat index well over 110. So continue to be careful, hydrate, stay cool as best you can. I'm actually going to Chicago tomorrow. Tomorrow's high in Chicago. Right now, let me double check. I'll make sure I got the most current one. Tomorrow's projected forecasted high, 74. 74 degrees. I cannot wait.
Nobody cares.
I might have to bring a jacket. It's going to be a low of 64 tomorrow night. I'm going to be at a concert at Wrigley Field tomorrow night. I might have to have a jacket. I might have to wear a jacket. I don't know. Oh, my goodness. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for that. That is going to be fine. Although, as I will say this, it's hot, but I would much rather have this than 30 degrees. I'll take 100 over 30, 35, snow, any of that stuff, any day of the week. I much prefer hot to cold. I can do a lot more stuff in hot weather than I can in cold weather.
I'm the opposite.
Nah, see, now cold weather's miserable. There's nothing fun whatsoever. Hot weather, like, you don't want to go run a marathon in 100-degree weather, but like you can be outside, like you sweat a little bit, whatever. But I can go play golf in this. I'll go play golf today.
I'm a jacket guy, so that's why I prefer like kind of cold weather. I'm very much a jacket guy.
I want to be short sleeves, shorts all the time.
Well, just go to the beach.
Well, again, another thing you can do in hot weather that cold weather doesn't allow you to do. Now, cold weather sucks. Hot weather this oppressive heat is not fun, but I'd take it over cold any day of the week. There is no doubt about that, but especially if, again, you had a pool for family leisure, absolutely great way to beat the heat. No doubt about that. Coming up on today's show, we've got John Varlas making his triumphant return. Speaking of going to the beach, he was at the beach. See, now he's got that beach bod. He's got to go out there and show it off. But he's back. He's back this week. So John Varlas comes in studio at 7:25, about 20 minutes from now. Coming up at 8:05, going to head down to Oxford, talk with Keith Carter, the athletic director at Ole Miss, who, since he's taken over, all they do is win national championships down there. Baseball team, of course, just won the College World Series. Talk with Keith a little bit about that. But also get his thoughts. I want to find, he's an athletic director. I mean, he's in the know. Did he have any clue that USC and UCLA were about to do what they did? What's the latest? What's he think about all of this? And what are the next steps? So Keith Carter coming up at 8:05. And then at 9:05, we head to St. Louis. Talk with our buddy Mike Claiborne. Been a little while since Claibs has been on the show. We'll talk some Cardinals baseball with him. Cardinals got a win last night to at least salvage one game in their series against the Atlanta Braves. So we'll talk Cardinals baseball and who knows what else with Mike Claiborne. That comes up at 9:05. And we will have 10 in a row. 10 in a row comes up at about 9:30 this morning. We'll put a big prize package on the line, give you an opportunity to win that. Last night, the Grizzlies wrapped up play in the Salt Lake City Summer League as they took on the host team, the Utah Jazz. And the guys who sat out the night before made their return. Meanwhile, the two-way guys, which we thought might be the case, I know everybody's disappointed that Kenny Lofton didn't play, but Kenny Lofton and Vince Williams, the two-way guys who had played the two previous nights, they get the night off last night. But you do see LaRavia and Santi Aldama and Xavier Tillman and Zaire Williams and Kennedy Chandler and David Roddy, all those guys who took the night off the night prior, they come back. And last night, they get the win, 95-84. Last night's game looked a lot more like Summer League, to be honest. It was the first half for the Grizzlies was awful. Like they just kept turning the ball over. It was just ugly, terrible. They couldn't make shots. Then the second half, that was Utah. And the Grizzlies outscored them 57-34 in the second half to get the win. David Roddy, who in his first game didn't shoot the ball well, last night he goes for 16. Still did not make a three, though. 0 for 2 from three. And then get this guy who shot over 40% from three-point range in college. But 6 of 10 from the field, able to use his size and do some things. He goes for 16. Zaire Williams goes for 19. And I thought Zaire Williams last night, it's notable that he scored 19 points. He was only 1 of 7 from three-point range. Zaire, that again, as we watch his game develop, Zaire last year for the Grizzlies, and granted, when Ja and everybody's out there, like that's going to be more of his role. But if Zaire went 1 of 7 from 3-point range, there was no way in hell he was going to score 19 points in a game. But he scores 19 despite 1 of 7 from 3-point range. Santi Aldama goes for 14. Jake LaRavia 0 for 3 from 3, 6 points for him. Kennedy Chandler, he was one that actually did shoot the ball fairly well from 3, 2 for 4. He's 50%. 12 points for him. A couple more steals. Grizzlies overall just 6 of 31 from 3-point range. The Jazz just 11 of 43. Jared Butler of the Jazz got up 15 3-pointers in the game. That's impressive. 15 3-pointers in 28 minutes for Jared Butler. He goes for 22, 8 of 22, 8 of 21 overall, 4 of 15 from 3-point range. But yeah, it's I got to be honest. About midway through that first half last night, when it was, I think the Grizzlies, they have 9 turnovers in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Like my eyes were bleeding, and I thought to myself, okay, I might have reached my quota of Summer League viewing. It's just Summer League, like the first game on Wednesday or Tuesday night, like we talked about it. The basketball was actually, they played well. Like you're like, wow, this is pretty darn impressive the way they're moving the ball. Like they're knocking down shots. Everything's looking good. And I was like, okay, I can handle this type of Summer League basketball. Then last night I was reminded what Summer League basketball can look like. And it was rough. I stomached the second half, which obviously was a lot better for the Grizzlies, but the Jazz were terrible. And yeah, not sure how much of the Vegas Summer League I can actually watch. Like, I'm gonna be honest, it's just tough. I've seen the rookies now. Like I've got what I needed out of the Summer League. I don't know that I have 5 more games in me. It's gonna be rough to try and get yourself to watch the Vegas Summer League. Grizzlies are back in action tomorrow night. They'll play Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and then they'll play at least one more game. They'll either be playing for the championship, or you just get another game against somebody if you don't qualify for the championship game. It's not the full-fledged tournament anymore with the Vegas Summer League. But again, there were some good things. I think you could take some good things out of last night's game. There was a lot of bad, but the second half certainly was a lot of good. And I was disappointed we did not get the Kenny Lofton, Kofi Cockburn matchup. By the way, they even talk about this, maybe since Shaq, but have you ever seen Kofi Cockburn carries 300 pounds better than most NBA players. Like you look at him, he's huge, but then you go like that's 300 pounds, and it doesn't look necessarily like 300 pounds.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. I thought on TV he looks like he's 270.
Yeah, I mean he's a massive dude, but his athleticism still blows me away at times. Like he's pretty. I still think I don't know what his role in the league is, but I just feel like a guy that big who's fairly athletic has a role in the NBA. And we saw Bruno Caboclo, the former Grizzly, 17 points for him. He had a good showing in Salt Lake City. I feel like Bruno Caboclo, to me, should be able to play in the NBA
now.
Yeah, I mean his length and there should be a role. I'm not saying he's going to be a starter, but there should be a role for him in the NBA.
Yeah. I mean, he played like he cared about basketball last night. So
well, that's always a good thing.
So he has gotten bigger. I do give him that. He did get it.
He does. He looks
bigger. So I think I think the way the NBA is now, being perimeter oriented type of game, he's 7 feet tall, can knock down a three.
They like length, they like athleticism, ability to shoot. I feel like there's got to be a spot for him in the NBA. Again, I guess part of that is caring and dedicating and all that. But he had a good showing in Salt Lake City. The Jazz were terrible. They host the thing and they go 0-3. But he had a good showing there.
So watching last night's game, did you feel like the Jazz were angry last night? Just playing against the Grizzlies, like their style of play, like how the game was going, because last night felt like the Jazz was like they were angry about something.
Well, they probably were angry that they're going to go. Now they go 0-3. They're like, here we are hosting this darn thing. We can't win a game.
Cause I'm watching these possessions. I'm like, golly, man. Like, are we watching wrestling or this is summer? Well, then again, Summer League is kind of part wrestling a little bit. Yeah. But the guys were like very tense up last night.
You don't want to go winless on your home floor in Summer League.
Oh, I mean, they did it last night, so.
I mean, it's your Summer League, and you go 0-3. So, again, I think there was a lot of good to take out of the Salt Lake City portion. Still got Vegas to go, and the roster will be the exact same. The Grizzlies announcing the roster for Vegas. It is the exact same roster. So all of these guys headed to Vegas, and they'll play again they'll play 5 games there. We'll see how much a guy like Zaire plays, how they kind of do that as far as this, again, because they've already played the 3 games. They got 2 more coming up over the weekend. Meanwhile, off the court yesterday, the Grizzlies making news. John Konchar, 3-year, $19 million extension that now locks him up through the 2026-27 season. John Konchar is a great story. It's to me, he is truly one of the fantastic stories. The guy who, out of high school, didn't get offers, goes to IPFW. Shout out Mastodons. He has a great college career, but you're doing it in anonymity because you're at IPFW. He just unbelievable. His ability to do everything on the floor, triple-double, all that stuff, and his career numbers and points, rebounds, assists, steals. Like he's done things in college that like nobody's done as far as career numbers and all the different categories. Doesn't get drafted. Grizzlies pick him up on a 2-way deal. The first year when he was playing with the Hustle, I was like, he can do some things. Like he every game you're like, at the end of the game also you're like, boy, John Konchar has 9 rebounds and 7 assists. And you're like, you don't even realize, he's always involved. But he wasn't a very good shooter. He shot, I think, low 30% with the Hustle that first year, and he didn't shoot many threes. But he still he just always found ways to kind of impact the game. And again, he was one of those guys at the end of the game when you looked at his stats, you're like, whoa, okay. Like, I didn't realize that John Konchar, or we'd be back in the middle of the fourth quarter, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait, John Konchar's approaching a triple-double now. He's got 12, 8, and 7. And you're like, you don't realize that. Turns that into a regular contract with the Grizzlies, and you're like, okay, he's a fine 14th guy. But now last year was a part of the rotation a lot of the season. In the playoffs, shot over 40% from three-point range. So he's turned himself into a good shooter. Still does all the other things. Had the triple-double to end the year. He gets you rebounds. He gets you assists. He'll get you steals. He finds ways to impact the game. And now John Konchar gets a 3-year, $19 million extension. It's a testament to him. Also a testament to the Grizzlies and their player development. I mean, and this is what, kind of what this regime has built themselves on. Finding these types of guys. Getting them in here and developing them. Is Kenny Lofton Jr. that next guy? That guy that kind of they targeted as a 2-way guy immediately and look to develop. But I love John Konchar. John, from the first time, I remember the first year, his rookie year on the 2-way deal at Media Day, we had him on the air and he was great. The man has John Konchar Day in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yeah.
I mean, March 28th in Fort Wayne, Indiana is John Konchar Day. When you have a day, there's something to be said about that. he's got a day. And yesterday was a good day. It's not John Conchar Day, but it was a good day when you're signing a $19 million. I mean, he's going to be up by the end of that contract. He'll have made like $30 million. Dude had one scholarship offer, I think it was, maybe two, coming out of high school. Went to IPFW, and now is going to have made over $30 million in the NBA, and still be young, with a chance to make a lot more.
Yeah, it's good for him. Good for him.
I don't know where he'll fall in the rotation next season for the Grizzlies. We'll see. It's looking more and more like the Grizzlies are kind of content on this is our team. Again, they'll still look at possible trades and maybe something creeps up. There are some reports out there that still like the Grizzlies are still looking to do something. Was it Mark Stein that said the Grizzlies are still looking people keep looking at the Grizzlies as a team that wants to make a big splash?
Yeah, he said that multiple teams are looking at the Grizzlies to make some type of big splashy move.
Like the Timberwolves. He said I hope they don't make a deal exactly like the Timberwolves. I hope they don't give up half the roster for one guy.
It's a little too late for that.
But I don't see them making a big splash. Do I think they could make a trade? Yeah. I still think Dillon Brooks could be traded. And locking up John Conchar even longer. Again, he already had 2 years left. It wasn't like he was going anywhere. But I still think that could happen. So I still think there could very well be tinkering. And I'd trading Dillon Brooks if it's just Dillon Brooks. Maybe if you throw a couple out, maybe you consider that a big splash. But I don't think they're out there desperately like we have to make a move. I think they are fine with the roster they have.
Mm-hmm.
That's the impression I get.
Like if they had to start the season right now,
they would be fine.
I
think Zach Kleiman's fine. If we run it back with this group, we're good with that. The thing with John Conchar too, with DeAnthony Melton gone, and I'm not saying he's going to get all DeAnthony Melton's, but not going to be put in that role necessarily. But DeAnthony Melton, the Mr. Do Something, that's kind of what John Conchar is when he's on the floor. He does a little bit of everything for you.
Yeah.
So it'll be more minutes for John Conchar. And I don't know where he falls in the rotation, but certainly with Jaren out to start the year, John Conchar going to be playing some minutes. Like he'll be out there. And again, he showed the ability to make impact on games. So good for John Conchar. I'm happy for him again. Great guy, funny guy. He's out there at Salt Lake City watching the team again yesterday. I'm happy for John Conchar. And again, the Grizzlies now on to Vegas tomorrow night. I believe it's a 9:30 game. Maybe it's 8:30 Central. I can't remember. It's either 8:30 or 9:30 Central time against the Clippers tomorrow night, and then they play Sunday night as well, then Tuesday and Thursday, and then they'll play one more game after that. Up next, John Varlas is back from vacation. We'll talk with him as we continue here. Just getting rolling on this Friday. It's Friday, everybody. Have some fun. Enjoy yourself. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Case IH is a proud supporter of the Mississippi Farm Bureau, and thanks to a membership benefits partnership, Mississippi Farm Bureau members receive a discount of up to $500 on every qualifying Case IH tractor and piece of equipment you purchase. This discount may be used with other promotions, rebates, or offers. So join Mid-South Ag Equipment and the Mississippi Farm Bureau and pocket up to $500 in savings. Call Mid-South Ag at 662-890-3141 to get your discount today.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, I'm Troy Fivesh, owner of Fivesh Roofing. Sunday, today and today only. And for the first 50 callers. These are things you will never hear me say in my ads. Because if you're honest, sincere, and knowledgeable, you don't need fast-talking, high-energy, gimmick-promising advertising to get someone's attention. Speaking of that, how do you think companies can offer huge rebates and giveaways when you use their services or products? By overcharging you in the first place. That's how. 5S Roofing doesn't operate that way. It's misleading and dishonest. When I provide a customer with the best products and the best service, and I do it for a fair price, Why would I need gimmicks? Best products, best warranties, and the best service possible. That's all we offer. Well, that and financing. 5 Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5 Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Is your air conditioning system struggling to keep up this summer? It may just need a tune-up. Good news, it's super tune-up time at Conway Services. We'll come out and perform our 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-up on your air conditioning system for only $69. And if you have an air conditioner that leaks Freon every year, we'll include a leak check at no charge.
License number 64210, 64365 EAS, MS 19668.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Golfers, tee it up this year at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with the hottest new arrivals from Ping. Introducing the new Ping G425 series. The G425 drivers have the highest MOI and is the most forgiving driver in golf. Increase your swing and ball speed with proven Ping innovations with 3 models to fit all golfers. Swing by Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Sports 56 Traffic.
This Sports 56 traffic update is brought to you by Man Cave Salon. Custom haircuts, barber services, and hot steam towel treatments, rejuvenating facials and massages, and zero-gravity full-body massage chairs. Now expanded with a built-in bar so you can enjoy a few beers. Man Cave Salon on Facebook and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Right now we're working a slew of accidents this morning. Accident, overturned vehicle on Danny Thomas at Linden Avenue. Working an accident on 385 at I-240, 385 West at I-240. Also, accident on Riverdale at Winchester. And then we have an accident on I-55 North at State Line Road. The off-ramp is blocked.
Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back here in the Family Leisure Studios. Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd, no Greg Gaston. Greg's back on Monday. Now, after a week off with rest and relaxation, joining in studio, it is the one and only John Varlas from the Daily Memphian, at John Varlas on Twitter. Back from the beach. I mean, he's just glowing. You could just tell he's rested, he's relaxed, he's just feeling good. What's up, John?
I'm feeling great, man. It's Friday, the Kenny Lofton Jr. of days. It's fun. It's big. It's fun. It's exciting. So yeah, I'm fired up to see you guys. Great to see you, Eli and Zach Boyd. I've been listening to you guys all week. It's you've been doing a great job in the stead of. In the absence of our man Greg Gaston, so great work.
So you have caught Kenny Lofton fever?
No, a little. Well, no, a little bit. I mean, I'm just playing, but no, I mean, it's fun watching the kid, do his thing, and the thing about these big guys, which when you play basketball or a sport, and you're a big guy and you don't think a big guy should succeed, like we talk, the fat pitchers and the big basketball players, these Kenny Lofton's been big all his whole life, most likely.
Yeah.
So he's probably the husky kid, he's probably the husky middle schooler, and he knows how to use that body, he knows how to do his thing, so he's good at what he does, and that's why it's fun to watch him, and he's got a skill set that a lot of people don't have in the league, and obviously he's going to be a tough matchup for a lot of players if he sticks. It's going to be interesting to see if he sticks, but yeah, I mean, I think it's a nice story, and hope, good luck to the kid.
It's funny because the first time I heard anything or saw the kid is his freshman year at Louisiana Tech. Ole Miss played them in the NIT, and I watched the game, and he was awesome. Like, he lit them up, and I was like, wow, this dude's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And then, it's Louisiana Tech, not paying much attention to Louisiana Tech basketball. But no, I mean, like the other night against Chet Holmgren, like you could tell like he was motivated to like, one, he knows he's got an advantage on him. Like, dude, this guy, like, I can just go right at his chest. This guy cannot. I could bowl him over. I can just bully basketball him. But you can tell he seems like anyway a guy who's motivated to make it.
Yeah, I think I saw somewhere too on social media during that game where he and Chet Holmgren were teammates on some sort of junior.
The under 19 or whatever, one of those.
So that certainly played into it too. But yeah, I mean, no, as a I mean, mentally I'm still a big guy, but as a less big guy myself, I always have appreciation for the big guys and what they do. And Eli, I know you're a connoisseur of you're an Illinois guy, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I know you're a connoisseur of high school basketball and kind of the history and all that stuff. Do you remember a guy from Chicago named Thomas Hamilton?
Oh yes. One of he's part of the best high school basketball team I've ever seen.
Yeah.
The Chicago King teams with him and Rashard Griffith. Best high school basketball team I've ever seen.
Yeah, so for you listeners, Rashard Griffin he went to play on Wisconsin.
Yep.
And he was an All-American type player. He was like 7 feet tall and like 260, 270 pounds. But there was another guy on the team, a kid named Thomas Hamilton, and he was like 7'4" and like what, Eli, like 350 pounds? There's two guys on a high school team, right?
Yes, it was Thomas Hamilton. Actually, there was a summer basketball tournament that I went to, and they were playing Chicago. It was huge. It's called the Morris Shootout. I don't know if they still have it, but it was this massive summer tournament where it's like, it was crazy. The year I went there, that Chicago King team was there. Antoine Walker with Mount Carmel was. It was like blew your mind. Like, and there was probably a million guys there that I didn't know who they were at that time, who probably went on to be NBA players. But Thomas Hamilton, we actually went into a McDonald's, and Thomas Hamilton, the Chicago King team was there, and I was behind Thomas Hamilton at one point.
Yeah.
He was like a human eclipse. Like
Yeah.
he was the widest. He was bigger than Shaq. Like he felt like he was. Now, granted, I was in high school at the time, so I was smaller, but he was the largest human being I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he was a huge dude, and I remember one time I went to actually went to the Peach Jam one year when I worked at the Commercial Appeal. Jason Smith and I went down to cover it, and there was a kid there. He didn't pan out, but and he was actually from India by way of Canada. You can look him up online, everybody. The kid's name was Sim Bular, and he was the biggest human being I've ever seen. He was like Thomas Hamilton size, like 7'4", maybe even 7'5", 300 plus pounds. I mean, you see these guys in person, right? Okay, so we're in the Peach Jam is in like it's actually in something like the Germantown Community Center, but it's a lot nicer. It's just got courts everywhere, and there's coaches and courts, and everybody's just milling around. And so there's all kinds of tall players just milling around, larger than average, kids. And then there's this one kid that's like, like I said, 7 feet 5 and like, well over 300 pounds. And like, gee, Jesus Christ, I mean, you see these pictures of Andre the Giant, posing next to other athletes, like baseball players and hockey players and stuff like that. I mean, you just see these guys. It's just mind boggling how big they are. And nowadays, how athletic they are. It's just incredible.
Thomas Hamilton was actually fairly like that.
Yeah.
I remember like seeing him going, this is a high school kid. Like, he's my age. Like, how is this possible that he's my age? Like, there's no way. Last night after the Grizzlies game, you got to see Taco Fall and Tremont Waters talking because they played together on Boston's G League team, and it's just funny, like to look at those two guys standing next to each other and go, they play the same sport.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's 2 feet taller than him, basically.
I saw a kid on social media the other day. I believe he lives somewhere in Tennessee. He's a football player, and his name is Ethan Lawson. So apparently, according to the picture that was posted on Twitter, this kid is 13 years old, and he's already like 6'5" and like 280, 290 pounds.
I don't even.
Where do they get kids like that?
What do you eat? What do you eat as a kid that gets you to that size? How does that happen?
I played high school football a little bit, not very well certainly, and this was 30 plus years ago. But the biggest guy on our team, our best player, and I know this because I practiced against him every day. Our best player was like 6'3" and like 240 pounds. Right, and we only had one of those, right? I mean, that probably explains why our team wasn't very good. But having said that, I mean, you just didn't have kids that big back then, and to see kids, sometimes see the kids this big nowadays is just mind blowing.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm blown away. Like when I get doing like Christian Brothers games and I get these rosters, and you're like, wait, their offensive line is averaging like 300 pounds. Like this is high school kids. Like how do they? But that's the way it is. Like we've just gotten so much bigger. I guess the genes or whatever we're eating. But it's crazy. So and I don't know how much of the summer league you've got a chance to watch. What did you think of like Kennedy Chandler?
I just watched highlights, actually. I think Kennedy Chandler is going to settle in nicely. I was really glad the Grizzlies ended up drafting him. I actually thought they should have drafted him, because I was under the impression that Tyus Jones was going to leave and that Kennedy would be a nice backup. But no, I covered Kennedy in high school, obviously at Briarcrest before he transferred to Sunrise Christian. Great kid, great talent. I think the only question, obviously, at the NBA level is going to be his size. Is he going to be able to consistently get his shots and defend consistently? But again, talking about Kenny Lofton, talking about him being able to use his body. Kennedy Chandler's always been the smallest guy too, for the most part. Unless he was like 8 or 9 years old. He's always been small, so he knows how to play. He's used to that kind of stuff. So I don't think it's necessarily going to be a problem for him. I think he's going to be a good impact. It was really nice to see him sign that nice contract, so I'm definitely on board with the Kennedy Chandler train, and I think he's going to do well for the Grizzlies.
Well, and the good thing too with bringing Tyus Jones back is you can bring him along slowly. Like he doesn't. You're not asking him to be the guy right away. Like if Ja gets hurt or something like that, he can be. Heck, I would imagine he'll probably play a lot with the hustle. They can bring him along. They seem to do. They pride themselves on their player development. They seem to do very well on that. And it was I had Brevin Knight on the show on Tuesday, and asked him. He was obviously a small point guard, played 12 years in the NBA, and he said, well, I didn't become small when I got in the NBA. Right. I'd always been small. Exactly. So like you learn to play as a small guy. And so you learn, okay, what are the things I can use? And for Kennedy Chandler, his speed, his quickness, and defensively in the summer league, and even times offensively where he's gotten the ball and he's beating everybody down the court. Like he realizes, okay, these are the things I can use as my strengths. And I could kind of make up for some of my weaknesses by using those strengths.
Great. And he's a great athlete too. Watching Kennedy Chandler play basketball, I always wondered how he would do, playing football, maybe as a high school running back or whatever. Obviously he made the right career choice, but you just wonder because he's such a great athlete. And Brevin Knight, that's true. I mean, it's really astute. So I'm excited to see what Kennedy Chandler will do. I mean, we mentioned Lofton. I mean, LaRavia. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how all these guys fit in. I mean, I think the jury is out on this year's draft. I mean, I think that's fair to say. But given the track record of the front office, we'll just see how it goes. But it's going to be really interesting to see these guys come along.
They have earned the front office has earned the benefit of the doubt. That's gonna. If they decide to just run it back and they don't make any moves, listen. Until they give me a reason to doubt them, I'm not going to doubt them.
Well, one move definitely I would not make is anything involving Kevin Durant. Yeah. And I heard you talking about it earlier in the week. And it's just, it's some of these deals being proposed for Kevin Durant. I mean, I saw one with the Timberwolves where they wanted the Nets wanted
it was Carl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, and 4 draft picks.
I mean, you might as well throw in like Christian Laettner and the Kevin Garnett statue outside of the Target Center, right?
Well, I think they may have given up the Garnett statue to Utah. I think that was part of the Utah deal to get Gobert.
And that mascot that they have. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, so if the whatever the Grizzlies would have to trade, in my opinion, to acquire Kevin Durant would make them less of a championship contender. Because you would be you would add Kevin Durant, but you would have less of everything else. So essentially, you would have John Morant, Kevin Durant, and a bunch of role players.
Yeah, I mean, because if that is everybody here talks about, you'd have to give up either Jaren or Desmond.
Yeah.
Well, if they're asking for that from Minnesota, they would want Jaren and Desmond.
Jaren and Desmond and the keys to Graceland and and
the rights to the new Elvis movie,
the Rendezvous. they want everything, right?
No, yeah. So if you want Towns and Edwards, they would definitely be asking for Jaron and Bain. It wouldn't be one or the other. There would be no other thing about it. So that thing, and again, as I've said, like Durant, great player. I think you got about 2 years with Kevin Durant, and if it doesn't work out with what you have to give up to get him, if you don't win that championship in those 2 years, then you go into rebuild mode.
Agree totally, and I think probably with the way the Grizzlies are currently constructed, I think their best path going forward is to probably just keep things as they are and try to see what they can do again next year. Hopefully they get Jaren Jackson back in a timely fashion, and hopefully John Morant avoids missing 15-20 games a year like he's done so far, and they can see what they can do to build on that. I mean, the West is going to be tough. I mean, it looks like the West is just getting unbelievably tough this year. So they might actually be as good as they were last year, but regress in the standings. This is going to be so tough in the West this year.
Yeah, it's once again, and we'll see. Maybe Durant still ends up in the West somewhere else as well that could make it even a little bit more difficult. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the big news, other big news, and we didn't have you last Friday, was the whole USC UCLA news, and I want to talk to you about the whole conference realignment and where college football is headed and your thoughts on that. John Varlas from the Daily Memphian joining us here in studio as he does each and every Friday, back from his vacation as he missed with us last Friday, but back this week. We're back with more Sports 56 mornings right after this. Sports 56 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
Is there a room in your house that never seems to cool or heat the way you think it should? Then a Mitsubishi ductless system may be a solution for you. Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Ductless systems are relatively new to the United States, but Mitsubishi ductless systems are a proven energy saver because the system does not have any ductwork, so it can blow colder air in the summer and warmer air in the winter. Mitsubishi's inverter-driven compressors automatically adjust to your cooling or heating demands to deliver ideal comfort while only using the energy that is needed. No more, no less. Do you have a bonus room, sunroom, or master bedroom that never cools right? Maybe a new addition to your home or a garage you want heated or cooled. Now you can do it efficiently. Call Choates today at 755-4797 or visit our website at choateshvac.com to schedule your free estimate. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
Imagine buying a pair of sneakers and getting a soothing, gentle foot massage like you'd get during a relaxing pedicure just by walking. Skechers' new Massage Fit sneakers. Because Skechers, the comfort technology company, has designed a unique innovation that makes it feel like you're pampering your feet with a gentle massage in every step. The secret is Skechers' new patented wave technology on the sole that gently massages your feet while you're walking around. Find them for men and women at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Hilltop Wine and Spirits, 7034 Highway 64 in Oakland, has the best prices on hundreds of your favorite brands of wine, beer, and spirits. Not sure how things taste? That's why there's a tasting room. Enjoy taste testing wine, spirits, beers, craft beers, even after dinner drinks. You have all kinds of special occasions coming up, and Hilltop Wine and Spirits can help you make those occasions memorable. You got a corporate event, a reception, an anniversary, or just a birthday with friends. Find the best selection and prices at Hilltop Wine and Spirits, 7034 Highway 64 in Oakland.
For all your roofing and home repair needs, it's Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. Give my man Brandon McCullough a call at 901-438-5084. Tell him you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings, or go online to newroofmemphis.com. They offer financing with many different plans and options to choose from, including a 6, 12, or 18-month same-as-cash option. They'll work with your insurance company or out of pocket, whatever it takes to get that roof fixed. Pinnacle is part of the Roofs for Troops program. Any veteran, active or retired, you get a $250 rebate on the purchase of a new roof. Pinnacle does both residential and commercial roofing, so business owners, property managers out there, along with homeowners, if you have a leak or any other roofing problem, call Brandon today. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They are licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. If you need work around the home, they can do that as well. Carpentry work, exterior painting. They can replace gutters, put up fencing and siding, rotten wood repair. If you need shingles installed, Brandon is a certified shingle installer. This is a locally owned and operated company. It's Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration, quality work at a very reasonable price. Give Brandon a call at 901-438-5084 or go online to newroofmemphis.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back to 744 here in the Family Leisure Studios. John's got me talking old high school basketball from Illinois, man. I love that stuff. That was when I was back in those days. I loved watching some of those great players that came through the state of Illinois, through the city of Chicago. But I mentioned you were gone last week. Big news at the end of last week, and it's carried over into this week as there's a lot of speculation going on. But it all started as we get this year's college conference bombshell. And it's the USC and UCLA are headed to the Big Ten. First of all, what was your first reaction when you hear that 2 LA teams are now going to be in the Big Ten?
I hate it, just like I've hated most conference realignment and most teams moving. And there was something interesting that it was a fan of West Virginia, and I think he posted it.
Yep.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. And he made the point, and I thought it was such an awesome point from the West Virginia perspective, but I think it holds true for a lot of programs, and in particular a program like the University of Memphis, to where so his basic thing was West Virginia goes to the I don't even know.
The Big 12.
I don't even know what conference they're in. So they go to the Big 12 and they lose all their traditional rivals. They lose their game with Penn State. They lose their game with Pittsburgh. They lose their game with Virginia Tech. These are big rivals that historically have been important to West Virginia and fans of West Virginia and fans of the other schools, I would imagine, too. And I think, the same goes for USC and UCLA. I mean, is there going to be that much interest for a USC Iowa game or a UCLA Michigan State game? Are the fan bases going to get up for that? That's what I think. I think college football, so much of college football is that it's a regional game. It's a rivalry. It's based on rivalry and traditions. Alabama, Auburn. Florida State, so many of the great rivalries that have made college basketball great. And all this conference realignment has really hurt that, I think, in a sense. I think it, unless your team is competing for national championships, unless you're an Alabama fan or an Ohio State fan, what do you have to look forward to? Well, it's the rivalries. It's the rivalry games, and that's what you have to look forward to. A program like Ole Miss, that's what they have to look forward to, is those big rivalry games every year. So I think that's a part of it, that it's killed the rivalries, and then it's the sports other than football and basketball. You got the UCLA softball team traveling to Northwestern or whatever.
So Rutgers,
yeah,
cross country,
right? Yeah, and the Rutgers track team going to USC or whatever. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I've seen stuff that they would break football off into its own thing and then do the other sports in more regional conferences like we had 30, 40 years ago, and I think that would certainly be an improvement. But yeah, I just don't like it. I just don't like it. What were your thoughts?
Well, it's weird. I mean, the idea that, again, the Big Ten now stretches literally. I mean, you've got Maryland and Rutgers all the way to L.A.
Right.
It's crazy
Coast
that's
to
a
coast.
conference.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, I guess, and I've probably just accepted this a while ago, college sports and these conferences really just don't care about the fans.
They
at this
don't.
point. It doesn't matter.
Clear.
It is where is the money?
Yeah. It's clear they don't.
And you can say, I mean, it's for UCLA, the report, like, they were going to have to start cutting sports. Like, they're broke. So this move saves them, like, saves sports. So you can say for fans of those sports, hey, you were not going to even have that sport anymore at that school. This saves them because they're going to start cashing massive checks. So I get it. It's just, it has just become such a massive business. The money is, it's just mind blowing. I mean, we're talking $1 billion television contract for the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Like that is just so hard to process and think that college athletics for one conference is going to get $1 billion television contract. That these schools are going to be getting $100 million each just from their conference, just from being in the conference. It's hard to process all of that. And so you go, it would be hard if you're any one of these to go, no, we don't want to do that. We want to keep making $30 million in the Pac-12 rather than make $100 million in the Big Ten. Like, so I get it. Yeah, I do think at least for fans of these schools, at least it is still USC, UCLA together. Sure. Like, they still have that rivalry. Like, both Texas and Oklahoma moved together, so they still have their rivalry. I don't know. I mean, it's just the way it is. And I still think, I'm really interested to see where it all ends up. I wish we could just kind of fast forward all this and get it done and get everything set and know what it's going to be. Is it going to be 2 power conferences? Is it going to be 3 power conferences? Is it going to be 4 power conferences? Who ends up where? I don't want to have to, okay, this is it for this year. Then next year we get about July and it goes, okay, now Notre Dame says they're going to the Big Ten and they're going to bring whoever else in. And then we do the second round of, okay, now what's happening from there? I just wish we could just get it all settled and go, all right, this is the new college football, and it's going to be this way for a while.
Well, and I agree with you, and perhaps I'm too much of a traditionalist or a nostalgic old fool or whatever, but you got to call it something else besides the Big Ten. The Big Ten, you have to rebrand it. If you're going to do it, if you're going to ignore the fans, if you're going to chase the money, okay, fine. Whatever, do that. But don't call it the Big Ten anymore. Rebrand it. Call it something else. Come up with something creative and just start your own history from there. The Big Ten is Michigan versus Ohio State. The Big Ten is Minnesota. The Big Ten is Iowa. The Big Ten is, Michigan State. That's the Big Ten. The Big Ten is not Rutgers and Maryland and USC and UCLA and West Virginia, for God's sakes. I mean, it's not. It's the Big Ten. Everybody knows what the Big Ten is.
Yeah. How about Rutgers, though? Like, their journey of this, like, based purely on just luck of geography and where they are. Like, they get invited to the Big Ten, and now they're going to be cashing $100 million checks.
Yeah,
like they basically, this is like, I don't know, they're like Taylor Gooch going to the Live Tour. Like, they're just like, for no reason whatsoever. Like, they're just going to be getting, just because they happen to be in New York and the Big Ten thought, oh yeah, like this market thing works for the Big Ten network. They get invited, they're there, and now they're going to be making $100 million a year from the conference for what contribution to that conference?
Well, I, sir, am not going to stand for any Taylor Gooch slander on these airwaves. I'm going to put my foot down there. But no, and you talk about it, the $1 billion contract that that's being floated out there with this. How much would an SEC?
Oh yeah, no, theirs is going to be the same thing. They're going to end up being $100 million per school.
Well, it'd be more, right? I mean, it would be.
Well,
more.
Especially if
based on what those guys have done in football lately, and then you add Texas and Oklahoma. Texas hasn't been super relevant lately, but Oklahoma certainly has. So you throw Oklahoma in there with Alabama and Georgia, and and I saw something about Clemson coming to the SEC. I mean, how much would that contract be worth?
If they end up adding Clemson and Florida State, like if they both end up going to 20, if the Big Ten gets Notre Dame, and then if the SEC says, oh gosh, now we have to go get Clemson and Florida State, whatever it takes, like if they both go to 20, I don't even know. Like, I don't know what they might. I don't know what you could possibly get to.
Yeah,
it'll be ESPN. It's ESPN on one side, Fox on the other, and one will just set the standard for the other. Like, it'll be like, oh, they're paying this much, well, then we're going to pay this much. That's all it's going to be, is back and forth, basically. It's a style, again, just the idea of Just here's $100 million check. And again, the University of Memphis is just kind of left on the outside in all likelihood.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to compete theoretically with these teams. They're getting $100 million every year from their conference. You might be getting 10.
Right. So what? Yes. So with that $100 million that those schools are getting, I mean, what can they do? They take that money and then they put it to NIL stuff, obviously. Right?
Well, they can build any facility.
Well, they build any facility, but they can start offering.
They can do whatever they want.
Quote NIL opportunities.
They can do whatever they want. Like that thing. Like they literally, when you just know you got $100 million check at the end of the year, like you can do whatever you want. Like any of these Olympic sports or whatever, you need this much more money for facilities. Okay, like that's fine. We're doing fine.
Yeah.
And it's hard for anybody like Memphis to try and compete with that, but you're still supposedly on the same level trying to compete with that.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, at some point there's probably going to be there's almost has to be at some point like a break off, like in soccer where the very, at one point, years ago, the very tippy top clubs in England broke off and formed the Premier League. So that's just like the 20 best of the best. And everybody else, at one point in history, they were more equal, and then they broke off and formed the Premier League, and then everybody else was cast down into lower divisions. I think you'll probably see something like that, very similar in college football, where you have essentially a Premier League of football schools, your Ohio States, your Alabamas, your Georgias, your Clemsons, and those guys, and then it trickles down to your Memphises, and then teams below Memphis, your Florida Atlantics and stuff like that, and I think.
Does Vanderbilt and Rutgers ever get relegated?
Man, Vanderbilt. You talk about Rutgers being lucky. Vanderbilt, they kind of, 100 years ago when the SEC was formed and the world was totally different than what it is now. Vanderbilt got on the ground floor of that, and they've just been along there.
There's something to be said, for being lucky. Hey, at least Vanderbilt has won like baseball national championships. What has Rutgers contributed to the Big Ten since they've been there?
Yeah,
literally nothing.
I can't. I'm hard pressed to think of one single defining Rutgers athletic moment, honestly, or
old Rutgers when Greg Schiano was there the first time, and they actually won a little bit in football, but that was before they got to the Big Ten.
Yeah. I can't even. I mean, I'm sitting here trying to think of it. I mean, the high school players we talked about earlier. I'm trying to think of like a historical Rutgers athlete to throw out there and be funny, and I can't even think of one.
It's crazy. They're going to get $100 million.
Yeah.
All right.
God bless them.
Question before you go: will Notre Dame finally give up their independence?
Oh man, for that
in the next 5 to 10 years, does Notre Dame finally join a conference
for $100 million? They might have to think about it.
You have to, right?
I mean, you can only
they would be leaving probably $75 million on the table.
I mean, it's like the NIL stuff. I mean, not the NIL stuff, the LIV stuff. You got your morals, and you might have a qualm about something. And Notre Dame, I think they like to think of themselves as above the fray.
Yep.
But my God, $100 million. I mean, it's and if they don't, they risk falling back in the pecking order behind the other powerhouses. So yeah, they may have to do it, Eli.
He is John Varlas from the Daily Memphian. You can follow him on Twitter at John Varlas. John, good to have you back, buddy.
Good to be back, guys. Everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see y'all next week. 7 weeks till high school football.
Wow.
7 Fridays.
That is crazy to think. But yes, indeed, it is, especially with this weather. Can't be. We would have had it. We wouldn't be able to play high school football right now. The heat index is too high.
They would be kicking off at 8 o'clock.
Yes, there's no doubt about that. Up next, Keith Carter, athletic director at Ole Miss, as we continue. Hour number 2 coming up here, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Regions Bank presents Darius Rucker. Live at the Garden, Friday, July 15th at Radiance Amphitheater. Gates open 6 p.m. Concert starts at 8 p.m. with Dave's Highway. General admission lawn tickets are still available at Ticketmaster.com. For more information, go to liveatthegarden.com. Also presented by Duncan Williams, AutoZone, True Green, Gossett Motors, The Lily Company, Pro Show, and Mahaffey Events.
When Chef Ryan Trim decided to open 117 Prime, Memphis's premier downtown dining destination, he was determined to make every single aspect of your experience at Prime something unique. You've heard of the huge selection of wine and bourbons at Prime, but they even brought in experts to create cocktails you literally cannot get anywhere else. The Straw Hat with Belvedere Vodka, the Borrowed Trinket with Monk's Road Barrel Aged Gin. That's just 2 of them. There are far too many to be listed here. If you want to try the rest, all you have to do is go to 117 Prime.
Memphis's oldest restaurant, Colettas, was established in 1923 to give Memphians the best Italian food possible. And after 99 years, I'd say they got it right. They are the creators of the barbecue pizza. It was Elvis's favorite, and I know for a fact that a large will feed 1 person all weekend. If you need to feed several, though, Colettas caters any event. Choose from homemade lasagna, ravioli, Alfredo, primavera, and so many other delicious items you can't help but enjoy. Impress employees or clients and treat them to Colettas for lunch or dinner. Plan ahead and get your holiday party booked at Colettas. Elvis's favorite place to go eat with his buddies at the South Parkway location, and Colettas even has an Elvis room dedicated to him. Call Colettas on South Parkway at 948-7652 or Appling Road at 383-1122. Colettas. It was Elvis's favorite, and it should be yours too.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the next generation of drivers, where titanium ends and the carbon age begins. Introducing the new Stealth Carbonwood driver from TaylorMade, with 60 layers of carbon twist-based technology designed for better energy transfer and faster ball speeds. Come into Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops is home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, or shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
It's a hot summer's day. You just finished cutting the lawn. Maybe you're getting off the golf course. You need something to refresh you. I've got just what the doctor ordered. In fact, it's called Poppy's Pills. Poppy's Pilsner. That's the best, and it comes from Grind City Brewing. It's light, crisp. It is that refreshing Pilsner. They say it's ultra crushable. Remember how Taco Bell stopped selling the Mexican pizza? Everybody lost their minds? Poppy Pilsner is the only thing that can ease that broken heart. Now, that came from an eyewitness named Sarah. Some people say it's sexy. It's light, it's refreshing, it's local. And for me, well, it just doesn't get any better than that. Ultra crushable, built for speed. It's available in 6-packs or 15-packs. You just ask your favorite retailer about it. Best enjoyed ice cold. It's what the doctor ordered. It's Poppy's Pills from Grind City.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah. Sports 56 Traffic.
This Sports 56 traffic update is brought to you by Crossroads Motors in Olive Branch. Right now, we're still working the accident, overturned vehicle on Denny Thomas at Linden Avenue. Also, accident on Highway 305 West at I-240. Riverdale at Winchester, still working with that accident there. The accident on I-55 at State Line on the off-ramp, that accident has been cleared. And then we're dealing with the new accident on I-55 South at Nesbitt Road near Pleasant Hill as well. Keep it right here. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back. It is hour number 2, brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Sports 56 Mornings here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Live from the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. That's Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road. Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd here. No Greg Gaston today. Greg makes his return on Monday. Now we head down to Oxford, Mississippi, home of your College World Series champion Ole Miss Rebels. And I know that is music to the ears of our next guest, the athletic director at Ole Miss, Keith Carter, on Twitter at Keith Carter OM. Hey, Keith, what's going on, man?
Not much. How's it going this morning?
Oh, it is going well, but I'm sure not as well as things for you. It's since you've taken over down there, you're just producing national championship programs, and boy, that had to be a fun ride for you up in Omaha.
Yeah, it was great. We were there the whole time. We were there for about 11 days and just had a blast up there, and obviously just so happy and proud, for the team and Coach B, and just everything they went through this year. Just the story of getting to Omaha and not only getting there, but then, just playing great baseball while we were there, just being the best team up there, and just got really hot at the right time. And, we knew the talent was there. This team was ranked number 1 in the country, earlier in the year, and we knew they could do it, and they proved that they could, and just a great feeling for them and for Ole Miss and Oxford, and just a really cool thing.
From an athletic director's perspective, what is a season like this like? Because as you mentioned, they get off to the great start, number 1 in the country, go through struggles. There's a lot of talk out there amongst fans about what you should be doing and what you should do at the end of the year. Then lo and behold, things turn around, and now all of a sudden you're national champions and everybody's very happy.
Yeah, that's what was so crazy is, you look at this year and just, everything that happened and the ups and downs and, the emails that you get and the texts that you get and, all of those things throughout the year. And, you look at the body of work for Coach B and all that he's done in his 22 years at Ole Miss, and it's just phenomenal. The consistency just jumps off the page at you. And, hadn't made it to Omaha quite as much as we had wanted or he had wanted. Nobody wants to get there more than he does. But I think that, for him, it was one of those things where, you get there and he kind of took all the doubt out of it, and, to get there and win it. We're in discussions with his representation now to make Coach B our coach for a very, very long time, as long as he wants to be here in Oxford. And, I love the way that he got that done and the team got that done. So, just happy for them again and so proud of what they were able to accomplish.
How many? You were telling everybody to get on to Omaha, but I mean, that final, the final series, like it looked like basically Swayze Field. I mean, I couldn't. It was hard to find Oklahoma fans in the crowd. How many Ole Miss fans were there? You think for those finals?
I think there were at least 20,000. And, what was cool about it, and you see this kind of every year at Omaha, you got kind of the local folks, that have the season tickets or come every year to the College World Series, and they kind of, embrace a team. They kind of fall in love with the team. Well, that year, our team was, this year our team was that team. And so you not only had all of the Ole Miss faithful that came up and went, but you also had there that fell in love with our team. So, I think that you look in that there's 25,000 people there. It had to be at least 20,000 Rebels, which, a lot of people kind of compared it like you did to Swayze, but, in reality, it's double what we have at Swayze. Exactly. It's like a football game. And so just really cool. And I got myself in a little bit of trouble by telling people just to come up and, we'll help you find a way in. So I'm getting, tweeted at and all kinds of things of people that can't find tickets. But I think for the most part, everybody found their way into the stadium and had a great time. And, as Coach B said, after the game was over and the trophy ceremony was going on, it was still packed. There were still 20,000 Rebels there watching that happen. And just a really cool thing. And you love the stories that you hear about people just getting in the car, no hotel, no tickets, and coming to Omaha. Pretty cool.
So you, the parade, and then in the little celebration there at Swayze afterwards, you brought up the Tim Elko statue. Is that going to happen?
It's something that we're going to make happen. We don't have a lot of the details. As a matter of fact, the first time a lot of our staff heard about us doing a statue was when I did it at the celebration. So we got a lot of work to do there. But Tim Elko, what else can you say about a young man? And just the epitome of what you want a college student athlete to be, not only on the field, but off the field, just the leadership qualities. And, to see him, throughout his career, things didn't always go well, not just the knee injury, but even before that, he came in highly touted, didn't win the starting job as a freshman, and, kind of battled through his career the first couple of years and, just found his way, continued to work hard and, believed in his coaches, believed in Ole Miss. And, he's the type of kid that you want all of our student athletes to be like. And so, to do something like that to represent him in a meaningful way, in a long-term way, somewhere at the stadium where people can always remember his legacy, what he meant not only to this team, but just to our program and to Ole Miss athletics in general, is something we feel strongly about.
Talking with Ole Miss Athletic Director Keith Carter, obviously there's so much momentum now around things at Ole Miss. Football season will be here before we know it. Obviously, a lot of excitement coming off of last football season as well with what Lane Kiffin's been able to do. What is that like? What's that kind of atmosphere, the feeling right now as people now start looking ahead to the fall and the football season?
Yeah, I think you used the right word, just momentum. I think things have been really good the last couple of years. Last year we finished number 22 in the Directors' Cup, which is the kind of the final ranking of college athletics programs and how they finish in the postseason. This year we finished number 20, which was 2 spots up and an all-time high for us. So it says we have consistency across our programs, and not only are we getting into postseason across the board, but we're making good runs, and we're winning national championships and getting to Sweet 16s and doing those type of things. So that's what we want. We want a comprehensive, well-rounded athletic department. I think all of these coaches and student athletes are competitive. They see women's golf win a national championship last year, and the celebration and bringing home the trophy and all the national exposure. They want some of that, and obviously baseball does the same thing this year. So I think if you ask our coaches and you ask our student athletes, they kind of build off of each other, and they're competitive with each other. So that's a good thing, and so we're excited about that. Obviously, football will be here before you know it. Honestly, I'm excited for the next 3 weeks before it gets here to have a little bit of downtime. But we know once August 1st hits that it's football season, and we'll be ready to roll for sure.
Where are you guys, like, season ticket-wise for football?
We're actually doing pretty well. We're above our goal that we set. I think we're up around 35,000, full-price season tickets. That doesn't include students. It doesn't include, visiting allotment, those type of things. So we're ahead of where we were last year. Obviously a lot of excitement around football and everything that's happening there. So we'll continue to push and obviously got another couple months here before the first game. So we feel like our season tickets will be pretty strong and our stands should be pretty full this year.
You guys are going to be making some changes at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium. When is that going to be happening?
Well, we actually have kind of put the Vaught-Hemingway Stadium project on hold right now. We had a big capital campaign. Champions Now is a $350 million capital campaign, and just kind of due to a lot of the variables and factors out in the environment right now, we just felt like on the stadium piece, we wanted to put that on hold. We'll probably try to pick that up in a few years. But we are continuing to move forward with some other projects, a $45 million renovation to the Manning Center, which is our indoor practice facility for football. We're about to build a brand new softball complex, around $20 million for that. Renovations to our soccer stadium, our golf locker rooms and practice areas. And then some renovations to our baseball stadium that will happen at some point as well. But the stadium piece has been put on hold for now.
So you bring that stuff up, and that kind of leads me in a little bit to what I want to go. Obviously, last week we get the news about USC and UCLA heading to the Big Ten. Last year it was Texas and Oklahoma coming to the SEC. First of all, with this USC-UCLA news, you're obviously athletic director. You're out there. You're talking to people. Did you have any idea that this was happening?
No, I mean I didn't know specifically that's where those two schools were going to be going. But obviously a lot of buzz in our world right now around conference expansion, realignment, those types of things. And so I don't think it will be the last move. You're hearing a lot of things out there right now about who's going to pick up schools and where schools are going to go. I think we're going to see more of that here over the next few months, 6 months. And so I think that shift is going to continue to happen. That one to me was kind of strange, candidly, just geographically. And, obviously in football, it's going to create some really cool matchups and those type of things. But, I try to think about it as an administrator, just some of the Olympic sports traveling and, a lot of those things just geographically are going to be really tough, but you got to go somewhere. This thing is shifting very quickly. I understand them, needing to make a move somewhere. The Pac-12 has kind of gotten lost in the shuffle a little bit out west. And, it's going to make sense for them financially, obviously, to move to the Big Ten. But it'll be interesting to see how some of those travel budgets look and and those type of things. The student athletes are having to fly across the country, and especially on weekdays and class and those type of things. But certainly, this shifting sands are going to continue.
Well, and it obviously they're doing it because of money, and there's these talk about these new TV contracts with the Big Ten, the SEC, and soon these schools. I mean, it's going to be $100 million possibly per school or somewhere near that on a yearly basis. With that much money, the SEC, Big Ten are clearly the two biggest right now, and they're continuing to get bigger. When we talk about the amount of money that you guys get, all these schools get on a yearly basis from these TV deals and everything else, you were just talking about facility things that you guys are doing, but there is a capital campaign. Obviously, money is raised other ways. But what does that paycheck basically allow you guys to do that other schools that aren't getting that can't do?
Well, you look at our budget, we're around a $120 million budget. And right now, probably, 40 to 50% of that comes from TV deals, I mean, and if you put it in that perspective, I mean, it's huge. You think about the TV deal, you think about gate receipts, you think about donations from our athletics foundation, and, that makes up probably about 80% of our revenue. So, it's huge. You do sacrifice a little bit, when you receive the TV revenue, from your gate receipts. We're seeing a lot of people that aren't buying season tickets. They're watching at home. They're coming to 2 or 3 games a year. So you do sacrifice a little bit of that with the eyeballs on TV. But it's a good thing. When we get that check every June, it's nice to get, and certainly allows us to do a lot of things. Support our student athletes at a really, really high level, keep great coaches, build facilities. All of those type of things. That are very much needed, for us to be successful.
Do you mentioned that we're going to continue to see more of this. How long do you think it might take before we kind of get to everything settled, that everybody is where they're going to go, at least for a while?
I think probably here in the next couple of years. I think this, obviously with Texas and Oklahoma not coming into our league until 2025. That's kind of the date that, the time frame that I look at, that a lot of this will shake out. Do we add more schools? Where does everybody else end up? But I think by the time you get to kind of that 2025 summer going into that school year, I think you're going to see a lot of the movement, has happened, and we're kind of in a place where we know where we're headed from there. College athletics right now is a very interesting space. There's just so many moving parts with the realignment. You've got NIL, you got transfer portal, you got lawsuits that are pending. So many different things right now that we're navigating. But we'll get through it. We've been through a lot before. There's been a lot of things that have changed. But I think the next couple of years are going to be very interesting. A lot of ups and downs. The roller coaster is going to be tough to navigate at times, but I think we'll look back here in 24 months and probably be in a more secure place.
Talking with Keith Carter, athletic director at Ole Miss. You mentioned Texas and Oklahoma. So is it still the expectation from you guys within the SEC that they will not join until that TV deal's done there for that 2025 season?
Yeah, that's what we're going off of right now. I think that, who knows what could happen, and there is a way out for them to do that. It just costs money, and I think that right now there's not an appetite to spend that money. Now, as the Big 12 kind of evolves and other schools start to come in, that's where I could see them potentially getting out early if the Big 12 says, "Hey, you guys need to go." This isn't working. This is it's toxic and things aren't working well right now. Maybe if they somehow gave them a way out, then that could happen. But as we're functioning right now, as we meet as ADs and as a conference, we're thinking 2025.
In this last week is the thought amongst you and other ADs out there that kind of everybody is now looking at Notre Dame and kind of waiting to see what they might do next?
Well, you look across the landscape of who's attractive and who adds value and those type of things. And obviously Notre Dame is right there at the top. And, just geographically and with some of the rivalries and those type of things, it feels like the Big Ten would make some sense, obviously. But who knows? And, I do feel like that, for some of the dominoes to continue to fall, Notre Dame's going to have to put their foot on base, here at some point. And I think they will. I think that they'll do that and realize that they need to jump into a conference somewhere and solidify there. But, that's a big piece of the puzzle for sure. And it'll be, very fascinating to see how it all shakes out.
I mean, and again, it's hard to remain independent when you start seeing the money that's being thrown around out there. I mean, I understand that they love their independence, but goodness gracious, at some point you just got to say, wait a second, we're leaving too much on the table.
Well, and yeah, exactly. And I think, Notre Dame had the best thing going for a long time, with the NBC contract and kind of had the big TV contract before anybody did. And, I think that they've kind of relied on that over the years. And now that some of these other conferences, like you said, are putting dollars on the table in the $50, $60, $70 million a year range, I think now it makes some sense for them to link up with a conference and have some of that, camaraderie and joining that. So, again, they're probably going to try to hang on for a while and drive the market up as much as they possibly can and build as much as they can. But I could see them, going into a conference here, sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it's as you said, it's interesting stuff, and it's going to continue here for at least a couple more years, and we'll hopefully get this all sorted out and figure out where we stand and kind of get some stability at least for a few years after that. He is Keith Carter, athletic director at Ole Miss. Keith, as always, certainly appreciate your time and enjoy the rest of your summer. And as we said, football season will be here before we know it.
No doubt, Eli. Good to talk to you this morning.
All right, thank you. Keith Carter from Ole Miss. So again, he's and as he mentioned too with the Texas and Oklahoma. Again, they're now off the basis of it'll be 2025. But what if the Big 12 does add some Pac-12 teams? Those Pac-12 teams like USC and UCLA will be getting out for 2024. So if you're the Big 12, do you really want to add the schools you're adding now for 2023? Then in 2024, say you add 4 more teams, heck, possibly even 6 more teams from the Pac-12, and still have Texas and Oklahoma hanging around for that year too? Like you'd have like 18 teams that year. And then the next year you would lose 2 of them. So if they add the Pac-12 teams, then I think it would have to be what he said. Like you just tell Texas and Oklahoma, like, now, like, we'll let you out. Like, they'll figure out a way at that point. There's no way they're keeping Texas and Oklahoma if they add 4 or 6 Pac-12 teams for the 2024 season. That would make no sense whatsoever.
I was just thinking about the money for them.
Well, that's like they'll still, I'm sure, make Texas or Oklahoma pay a hefty price to get out. But not the full. It would just make no sense to have possibly an 18-team conference for 1 year. So it would literally go from, you're going to go 10, then you're going to go to 14 for the 2023 season. Then you would go to, actually it would be a 20-team league if you added 4, right? If you kept them. No, it would be 18. It'd be 18.
Yeah.
Because they're already included in the 14. So then you'd go from 10 to 14. So you add 4 teams for the Big 12, to Pac-12. Then to 18, then to 16. Like you would literally have a different number of teams in your conference every year for a 4-year stretch. That would make no sense whatsoever. So if they add the Pac-12 teams, they certainly have to get Texas and Oklahoma out of there. There would be no reason. And again, we'll see. Next week is Big 12 Media Days. So I'm sure that's going to be very interesting. And could we get an announcement maybe at Media Days next week from the Big 12 that they are adding some teams? Could they get it done that quickly, that they go and pluck some of these teams? Could it be, if they do, is it 4 or could it be 6? Do they get Washington and Oregon as well? You got Big 12 next week. Then the SEC. Then I think the Big 10 is the following week. I'm not sure when the Pac-12 is doing their media day or days. Maybe they've canceled them. Maybe they don't want to talk to the media right now. They're too busy trying to figure out what their conference is going to look like. But, I mean, these media days are going to be interesting to hear what commissioners and everybody have to say. But Big 12 kicks it off next week, and they're one of the ones in the spotlight because they're the ones seemingly looking to add teams and pick off teams from the Pac-12. But it's that time of year. It is, as Steve Spurrier says, it's talking season. We are entering full talking season because we're going to have media days from different conferences for the next 3 weeks, starting next week. Brett Norsworthy, Gabe Kuhn will be down at SEC Media Days with Sports Time. For us, they'll be joining us and other shows throughout the day as well. That's in 2 weeks. That's not next week, but the following week. Again, Big 12 next week, SEC the following week as far as media days are concerned. But, yeah, do we, in these next few weeks, does something get done between the Pac-12 or the Big 12? Either teams leaving the Pac-12 to the Big 12, or does the Pac-12 keep them together, find a way to add a couple of teams? How does this all unfold? But I'm sure it's not done for this year. And again, who knows when it actually is all done. Well, speaking of moving, Black Tie Moving could help USC and UCLA move to the Big Ten if they needed to. They don't really have to move anything, though. They're staying where they are. They just need a lot of travel to get around. But Black Tie Moving, if you've got a move coming up, they are the ones to call, the people to have on your side. 901-316-6196. 901-316-6196. Or blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. Talk to them. Come up with a plan fitting your needs, fitting your budget. They'll give you no obligation quote up front, letting you know what it's going to cost. And there's no secrets or surprises in there. You're going to know for sure right up front what it's going to be. Got a moving concierge available 24/7 to answer any questions that you have along the way as well. They got 5-star ratings all over the place online, A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Nobody better. You don't want to try and do it all yourself. It's just a pain. Get the folks at Black Tie Moving to help you and make sure it's done right. Get them. Give them a call at Black Tie Moving, 901-316-6196, or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. When we come back, we've got some other news from Summer League, as the Vegas Summer League did start last night with a couple of games, and Jalen Duren made his Detroit Pistons debut. Paolo Banchero and Jabari Smith squared off as well last night. We'll get into a little bit of that, some Major League Baseball as well, as we continue here. Sports 56 mornings at Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Let former Memphis Tiger Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy take you home every afternoon with Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
If you have damage to your home and have your insurance carrier involved, you need a great contractor. You also need a team that has seen claims of all shapes and sizes, residential or commercial. After our inspection, we'll share our findings and give you our professional opinion. Some people say you get what you pay for. However, our opinion is free. Trust the name you can depend on, like the tens of thousands of families Brian and I have served over the past 20 years here in the Mid-South. Brian Elder Roofing. We'll measure your roof from outer space and share our team's experience for your property and claim. Repaired roofs, replacement roofs, big roofs, tiny roofs, insurance roofs, flat roofs, TPO roofs, asphalt roofs, tile roofs, slate roofs, metal roofs. If your roof needs some love, call me. 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing and Contracting.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Swerving, speeding, and reckless driving can leave you in your own dust. Drag racing has its consequences. You can lose your driving privileges, your vehicle, face jail time, or even lose or take a life. So slow down, Memphis. The life you save may be your own. Brought to you by the Memphis Police Department, Traffic Operations.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything! A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. One of our great sponsors here on Sports 56 Mornings is Corky's Ribs and Barbecue. Whether it be for lunch or for dinner, whether you're dining in or just picking up and bringing it home, they have specialized in barbecue for 38 years. That delicious, slow-smoked barbecue. They've also specialized in catering the entire time. And if you want anything catered in your life, you got an anniversary coming up, a graduation, a birthday, any type of corporate outing, Corky's Ribs and Barbecue can start you out at just $8.99 per person. You can't beat that deal anywhere for Corky's Ribs and Barbecue catering. Add a third of a rack of ribs for only $6.99 when you purchase a barbecue sandwich, their award-winning catfish plate, or any entree at any of the 4 convenient locations. Party packs start at just $7.49 at Corky's. Whether it's the Q, the ribs, the barbecue nachos, the cheese and sausage plates, the tamales, they have absolutely outstanding desserts. Lunch specials every day. It's Corky's Ribs and Barbecue. They've been in business that long because they know what they're doing. 4 convenient locations in the Mid-South: Poplar Avenue in Memphis, Poplar Avenue in Collierville, Germantown Parkway in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Don't forget about a Corky's gift card. It always makes a great gift. It's Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week.
Sports 56 traffic.
We're still working with the overturned vehicle on Danny Thomas at Linden Street. The accident's on 385 at 240. The accident has been cleared, along with the accident on Riverdale at Winchester. We're still working the accident on I-55 between Star Landing and Pleasant Hill. It should be clearing up in a few minutes, so just give it some time. Keep it right here. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back here. Eli and Zach. Greg makes his return on Monday, halfway through the Friday edition of Sports 56 Mornings here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. If you want to join the program, you can do so via the AutoZone listener line, 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. You can call or text us on the AutoZone listener line. Raider Corey texted in, says, happy Friday. I made an effort to really watch the Summer League game last night. As he always been saying, it's Summer League, but I do have a couple of assessments. One, our big guys need to stop dribbling so much. Get the ball and do something. You're not a guard. 2, I'm confident Zaire is going to take the next step, but he looks like a catch-and-shoot guy right now versus a guy who can create and shoot off the dribble. But I'm excited for the fall. Oh, finally, getting Kennedy Chandler was the steal of the draft. So calling Kennedy Chandler the steal of the draft. I certainly think Kennedy Chandler could end up being quite a steal at 38. Certainly think he very much could have been a first-round guy. And I would not have been upset if the Grizzlies had taken him at 22, where they originally were. But to get him at 38, I think he could end up being a steal. And he's shown in these summer league games a little bit that his speed, his quickness, his athleticism, it certainly can translate. And the size, because of that, may not be an issue. You know, Zaire, it hasn't been pretty necessarily in these 2 games where they're kind of putting him on the ball, letting him do some things. But I think he's shown some development. Again, he had the 8 assists in game 1. Last night, he did not. He only had 2 assists. But even what I liked last night is he scored 19 points despite only making 1 3. So, again, they're not going to ask Zaire during the season when you've got Ja Morant out there to be a playmaker much. It's to have that kind of in his bag, but it's also, just to be able to put the ball on the floor. You know, he's going to do a lot of catch and shoot, corner 3 stuff. But when they close out, can you put the ball on the floor, make a play from there for somebody else or for yourself or those types of things? Again, he's still so young. Nobody expected what he did last year. I don't think anybody expected to really get as much playing time. And part of that was injury and everything else that created some time for him. But and we'll see how much we see him in Vegas. You know, last year again with Desmond, once they got to Vegas, he really didn't play a whole lot. I don't know if that's what the plan is for Zaire. Maybe they do use him throughout the time. Maybe, I'm sure he's not going to play every game, but maybe they do still use him for most of the games in Vegas. But I don't know, Zach. I mean, I've been fine with what I've seen out of Zaire in the 2 games.
Yeah, and like the thing is, like even though he's not directly on, you know, the Desmond Bane track, at least he's trying, and that was always the biggest thing going into Summer League. It's like, just try to see if you can handle on ball things. Because I think what game was that? Like where I think that might have been game 1 in Salt Lake, where he was just frustrated. Like they were just blitzing everything. He couldn't get around nothing. And then like after halftime, you can just see him kind of just slow himself down, and he starts to, figure things out, finding other counters to the screen. And like you said, he ended up with eight assists. I'm pleased with it. I knew it's going to be a developmental process for him because we haven't seen this much on-ball stuff with Zaire. But, I mean, I was fine with it. Like, his passing ability is very underrated this Summer League. Very underrated.
This is what Summer League's about. Like, the Grizzlies choose to play in both. Like, they don't have to play in Salt Lake City. Like, you could easily, but they're choosing, and it's to use this for more player development. And get those extra 3 games out of Summer League that most teams aren't. You got the one goes on in San Francisco, Golden State out there. You got Salt Lake, but I mean most teams will just play Vegas, but the Grizzlies choose to play Utah as well. Gives them 3 extra games. You can use it for things like this. It's just more player development opportunities. The other two, Desmond Bane, it was year 2 or going into year 2. But he's a lot older, more mature. Zaire played 1 year of college basketball, and it was barely a year of college basketball. It was COVID year of college basketball. So Zaire, along that way of developing, is a lot farther behind where Desmond Bane just was in his basketball career.
Right.
So it's a little different situation. And again, they're not going to ask him to play point. It's just having that ability to put the ball on the floor and make plays for others. But I think he is a fine passer, and he'll continue to get better.
Yeah, and then like you mentioned, like we saw last year how teams were forcing Ja to kind of pass the ball to other players. And again, going into this year, this upcoming season, you're going to have to rely on those other guys. Bane. We'll see if Dylan's going to be here. Hopefully Dylan can get back to the Dylan of a couple of years ago. Zaire, even Tyus and, Kennedy at some point, he's going to get some time. Can you take what the defense is giving you and, attack the basket? Because the game plan for next season is stop Ja at all costs.
Yeah.
That's just gonna be the game plan. And so for the other 4 players on the floor is to beat them, to beat the defense as a team, because they could do it individually. Because I know they got the talent to do it, but as a team, it works well. And we saw that in parts of last season, how well they were figuring things out as a team.
I mean, Zaire last year was basically catch and shoot threes and catch alley-oops.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he was. Now it's just getting him a little bit, again, rounding his game out. And this is a great opportunity in these Summer League games to give him experience doing that. Also last night, the Vegas Summer League did get underway with a couple of games. And they'll have games going on like all day today. It really gets going today. And, of course, the Grizzlies don't play till tomorrow night there. But Paolo Banchero made his debut and went head-to-head with Jabari Smith. Paolo wins round 1 of that one, for whatever that is worth. Paolo, 17 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. Looked really good. Jabari Smith, 10 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists for him. Also, Detroit was in action, and that meant the debut of Jalen Duren and Jaden Ivey. First play of the game. I guess they designed it this way, but I don't know if it was like to make a statement or what. First play of the game, Ivey alley-oop to Jalen Duren for the dunk. Duren ends up with 9 points, couple of blocks. Ivey, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. He looked as explosive as people believe he is and will be. Ivey's one of with the way his game is, like in Summer League, he's going to look awesome. He's going to look great.
Like the setup is just built for his game.
Yeah.
Like that's just the whole point. It's the whole point. We just want these young guys just to come out and obviously play a team game, but also just display your game as well. So it's built for him.
Yeah, it's a lot of up and down, free flow. Like he's going to look really, really good in Summer League. But yeah, again, the Vegas League is now underway. Grizzlies in action tomorrow night there against the Clippers.
By the way, I am against the midnight tip. I wanted to watch that game, the Trailblazers and the Pistons game. I wanted to watch it, but because I got to be an adult, I got to go to bed.
Yeah, I don't know. Do they have that late a tip-off every night, or was that just for last night since it was the first night of it?
I want to say it's just last night.
Let me pull this.
I really want to because I was so upset about it. I was like, man, come on.
Yeah, when I first heard that, there was still another game to go, I was like, my God, what are we doing out there? I know it's West Coast, but goodness gracious. Let's see. So the game started at 3 o'clock Central, and the last tip-off, the last tip-off tonight is 9 o'clock Central. So I think that was, these other ones are 9 o'clock Central Time, late tip-off. Grizzlies, by the way, is 8:30 Saturday night. I can't remember if it was 9:30 Eastern or 9:30 Central. It's 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central tomorrow night for the Grizzlies against the Clippers in their first game in Vegas. College basketball news. It's not really news. It was what we already knew it. But the Tigers officially announced the hiring of Frank Haith as an assistant coach. We already knew he was there. We already had the recruit that tweeted out that Haith had offered him a scholarship. So hard to out there offering scholarships if you're not actually working for the school. But Frank Haith officially announced as a Tigers assistant coach. So you got Haith. I guess Faraji Phillips hasn't been officially announced yet by the school, but it's done. And then you've got Larry Brown, if he is going to be an assistant coach.
Right.
If Larry Brown is not an assistant coach, then is it Jermaine Johnson moves into the assistant coach's role? I would assume that's probably what it would be. But we'll have to wait and see what exactly Larry Brown's role is going to be. Penny said he's going to be an assistant until he tells me he's not. So I guess as of this time, he's still an assistant coach technically, and we'll see once we get closer to the season if that is still the case or if he becomes some sort of consultant or some type of other role, and then you move Jermaine Johnson maybe into that third assistant besides Faraji Phillips and now Frank Haith, who again was officially announced yesterday by the University of Memphis. New Life Medical Center, 9160 Highway 64. They're open 7:30 to 5, Monday through Friday, treating you for illness, injury, whatever it is. It's primary and urgent care. They do that to treat folks at New Life Medical Center, plus many other things, just trying to keep people feeling their best, keeping people healthy, like weight loss programs that they've got offered. A lot of different weight loss programs. If you're looking to lose a little weight, they've got a program that might be able to help you. They've got testosterone replacement therapy for guys. They've got treatment, the platelet-rich plasma treatments for joint injuries, sports injuries they could take care of. They got stem cell treatments. They treat erectile dysfunction. They're keeping people healthy, keeping people feeling their best. That's New Life Medical Center. Again, at 9160 Highway 64, the Shops of Stonebridge, the little center there in there at New Life Medical Center. When we come back, the Raiders make a historic hire and some Major League Baseball as well. As we wrap up hour number 2, coming up in hour number 3, Mike Claiborne will join us to start the hour. Speaking of baseball, talk a little Cardinals baseball with Mike Claiborne, our buddy from the Cardinals Radio Network. 10 in a row still to come your way in hour number 3 as well. An opportunity to win a great prize package. That's still to come here. It is Sports 56 Mornings here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You have opinions?
Yes.
Of course you do. Everyone does. Hit us up on the AutoZone listener line, 360-8255, 360-8255.
Add a little excitement to your sports watching experience by betting on all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Their app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique fun bet types like same-game parlay, and exclusive always-on promotions such as enhanced odds boosts on the biggest events to let you get more action out of every game day. And if you win, they even get you your winnings safely in as little as 24 hours. If you've never tried FanDuel Sportsbook, what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started. And be sure to sign up with promo code BIGHEAD so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code BIGHEAD. Must be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call Tennessee Redline. 1-800-889-9789.
Hi, I'm Tony Harris, former East High School and University of Tennessee All-American basketball player. As a former player, I assisted a lot of teammates into scoring points on the basketball floor. Now, as an experienced insurance broker, I assist communities and families with retirement, investments, college savings plans, 401k rollovers, and life insurance with living benefits. This past year, in 2021, my company, HOM Financial Services, put $10 million back into the communities of Memphis with our services. We have a team of licensed experienced brokers ready to assist you and your needs. Contact me today at 901-501-9343. Again, that's 901-501-9343 at HOM Financial Services. Let me, Tony Harris, assist you today.
Golfers, tee it up this year at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the hottest new arrivals from Callaway. Featuring the new Rogue ST drivers, Callaway's most stable driver ever, with tungsten speed cartridge, jailbreak speed frame, and AI flash face. Engineered for max speed and forgiveness. 4 different models to fit every golfer's needs. Think speed? Go Rogue. Swing by Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit for the new Rogue ST drivers today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Memphis's oldest restaurant, Coletti's, was established in 1923 to give Memphians the best Italian food possible. And after 99 years, I'd say they got it right. They are the creators of the barbecue pizza. It was Elvis's favorite, and I know for a fact that a large will feed one person all weekend. If you need to feed several, though, Coletti's caters any event. Choose from homemade lasagna, ravioli, Alfredo, primavera, and so many other delicious items you can't help but enjoy. Impress employees or clients and treat them to Coletta's for lunch or dinner. Plan ahead and get your holiday party booked at Coletta's, Elvis's favorite place to go eat with his buddies at the South Parkway location, and Coletta's even has an Elvis room dedicated to him. Call Coletta's on South Parkway at 948-7652 or Appling Road at 383-1122. Coletta's. It was Elvis's favorite, and it should be yours too.
It's time to vacation at home with Family Leisure. That's right. Enjoy a vacation in your own backyard with a little help from Family Leisure. Like play gyms and trampolines, they're now $500 off. And those trampolines, by the way, they've got that mesh on the side, so trampolines are now safe and you'll be the hit of the neighborhood. They've got hot tubs in stock and ready to go, and you can get up to $1,000 off when you pick them up. All kinds of do-it-yourself pool specials, like savings of up to $1,500 on all in-stock pools when you pick it up and install them yourself. And if you're looking for patio furniture, then stop on in, because they have tons in stock and they're ready for you to pick up. So get ready for that vacation at home with the help from Family Leisure. Family Leisure's Vacation at Home sale. It's happening right now at Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun truly do come together.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So I was tipped off on Twitter yesterday by Carolyn, and I was just reading the story that it's Monday. Whataburger opens up the first location down in South Haven. It's the one down on Goodman there by I-55. 11 a.m. Monday.
Oh, it's going to be a mess.
They choose to open it up when I'm out of town. Which might be a good thing, because then I won't have to be a part of that mess. But Monday is the first one opening up at 176 Goodman Road. The other one down there, 6829 Getwell, is to open in the coming weeks, it says. That's from a release from the Whataburger folks. But Monday at 11 a.m. down there on Goodman Road, you may want to go get in line now. If you go get in line now, I think you'll probably be okay. Start camping out tonight. Be first in line, ready to go at 11 a.m. on Monday.
You're gonna miss your entire weekend, but these days your weekend is pretty much squeezed into one day. So
it's worth it for Whataburger. That missing a weekend is worth it for Whataburger. That's exciting. I'm so excited. Drove by the construction again there on Germantown Road the other day. It brings a tear to my eye. There's just happiness when I drive by and see it's coming, that it's forming. When I see that now they got a billboard up there that says on I-40 that says "Get ready" or something like that. A little tear forms in my eye every single time, and I can't wait.
All I can think about is the traffic. That's just all I can.
Don't think about the traffic. Think about the burger.
I got to get around, so that's all I can think about.
Whataburger, a lot of traffic. Well, who cares? It's Whataburger. It's absolutely Whataburger.
Same way with the Chick-fil-A on Poplar, man.
Oh my gosh, that thing. I was trying to go to Humdinger's Tuesday, actually, Taco Tuesday. I love my Taco Tuesdays at Humdinger. And so I'm on Poplar trying to turn left into the shopping center there, but I can't because the Chick-fil-A line was all the way down to the stoplight at Massey.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is insane. How is this possible? I mean, that's like, there had to be, 30, 35 cars in line? And I don't know why I'm so dumb. I don't know why I didn't just go up to Massey, take the left there, and then turn in the other side. But I'm sitting there waiting. But part of me is like, well, this Chick-fil-A moves their line so quickly that this car that's blocking the thing, which I drove me crazy. First of all, if you're one of those cars in that line, don't block that driveway. Wait, and then once you got room, then you go across so that the team people turning left can get in there at least. But this person had blocked off that driveway, and I was like, well, they'll move here fairly quickly. And like, I swear it must have been the longest it's ever taken for Chick-fil-A to actually serve somebody, because they were like, it actually took like a minute or two for them to finally move. Now, it could have been some cars way up ahead. Somebody was on their phone, not paying attention, so they didn't pull forward. That happens all the time, too, in drive-through lines. But I was, man, I was like, this is unbelievable. They have this many cars. They are taking up a lane of traffic on Poplar Avenue for, I don't know, what's that, 100 yards or so.
They got to get their fix.
It is mind-blowing to me how many people go to Chick-fil-A on a daily basis.
Thank God I don't eat meat.
So that was Tuesday, of course, and I was like, oh, that's because, hell, obviously they're closed on Sunday. I assume they were probably closed for the holiday on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So these people had gone a whole 2 days. I was like, oh, my God, we've gone 2 days without the ability to get Chick-fil-A? By golly, we all got to go get Chick-fil-A then. That's why I said I should have known that. Should have never came close to a Chick-fil-A on this day. That these people are like, it's like an addiction for people. They had 2 days without it. They didn't know what the heck to do.
It's like barbecue? Like, what about Chick-fil-A?
Man, oh, man, it is unbelievable. Major League Baseball, Cardinals salvage a game from the Braves last night, 3-2 in 11 innings. Matthew Liberatore, 4 innings pitched, no runs. Good outing for him. But Spencer Strider, this Braves rookie, 6 innings, 12 strikeouts, 2 hits. He becomes the first rookie pitcher since 1900 with at least 11 strikeouts and no more than 2 hits allowed in consecutive starts. He now has struck out 102 in 65 2/3 innings on the year. He's made 8 starts. He struck out 65 guys in his 8 starts. That is the 4th most by any pitcher in their first 8 starts. The first 9 outs of the game were strikeouts. This dude is unbelievable. But the Cardinals got the win. Also last night, speaking of pitchers, the Dodgers beat the Cubs 5-3. The Dodgers, there is a million different all-stars and everything else on that team that get all of the attention of the Dodgers. I don't know how many people realize Tony Gonsolin.
Yeah.
Yes, Tony Gonsolin got the win last night. He is now 11-0 with a 1.62 earned run average. Dude is having an unbelievable year. 11-0, 162. And I'm not sure if people know, because when you talk Dodgers, Tony Gonsolin is not the guy you think of. Like, if you think of their pitchers, you're thinking Walker Buehler, you're thinking Clayton Kershaw, you're thinking a lot of other guys, not Tony Gonsolin.
Yeah.
And certainly if you go to the position players, like, Tony Gonsolin is well down the list of anybody you think of with the Dodgers.
I tried to trade him in fantasy, but the guy was asking for the farm, and I was like, nah, it's okay. It's okay.
Well, I would be asking for a lot too. But he's likely to get the start in the All-Star game, which will be at Dodger Stadium. So looking like he will probably be the starter in his home stadium for the All-Star game, which comes up a week from next Tuesday. So we are not far away from that. Somebody texts in and says, hey, guys, that's God's chicken. That's what makes it so special.
Right.
I like Chick-fil-A. I don't think there's anything special necessarily about the chicken. The nuggets are really good. The chicken sandwich is a chicken sandwich. It's hard to screw up a chicken sandwich, quite frankly. Like, chicken sandwiches are chicken sandwiches. The thing that makes Chick-fil-A special to me is the service. I don't understand how they can get 30 cars through line quicker than McDonald's can get 2. It doesn't make sense. I just wish McDonald's would hire some Chick-fil-A people as consultants or something. McDonald's is frustrating as hell. Hell, McDonald's, you might sit at the thing trying to order for 20 minutes and they never actually talk to you. You may never get your order taken. Chick-fil-A, man, it is They got 46 people out there moving people along, telling you where to go. You're after that car. They have that down pat. They are the best in the industry by far when it comes to service. The chicken sandwich, it's a good chicken sandwich. That's it. It's a good chicken sandwich.
Thank God I don't have to worry about that. That's not one of my problems I have to deal with.
You do not have to worry about that. Coming up, Mike Claiborne for the Cardinals Radio Network. We also have 10 in a row coming your way in hour number 3 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. 5-Ash Roofing, the name to know. 5-Ash Roofing, the only way to go. 5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. 5-Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. 5-Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5-Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Have you been looking for a cigar lounge that's laid back and offers style and a full bar and a great selection of cigars? Now let me tell you about the G-Spot Cigar Lounge, Memphis's premier cigar lounge, offering a wide selection of cigars, open 7 days a week starting at 12 noon for your smoking pleasure. Come kick back, enjoy a beer or a cocktail and a cigar while watching sports on one of their several TVs. G-Spot Cigar Lounge on Instagram and Facebook at the G-Spot Memphis, located at 6135 Mount Moriah Road, Suite 116.
Say there was a place, the perfect place for everything you need for tailgates and patios. Grills and chairs, charcoal and coolers. Everything to make a great game or a great day. That perfect place wouldn't be a warehouse. It's East Memphis Ace Hardware. Locally owned and operated at Quince and White Station, East Memphis Ace Hardware is where you'll find Benjamin Moore paints, local plants from local growers, and Black & Decker tools. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their tailgates. Welcome to East Memphis Ace Hardware, the home convenience store.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Belly Acres' motto is City-Fied Farm Fresh. The goal is simple: provide a fun, unique farm-to-table experience for the whole family. 2 great locations, Regalia at 6130 Poplar and in Overton Square at 2102 Trimble Place. Overton Square hours Sunday through Thursday 11A to 9P, Friday and Saturday 11A to 10P. Regalia Sunday through Thursday 10:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 10:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. Signature burgers are made from 100% grass-fed beef. Sandwiches, salads, and the best milkshakes anywhere. The burgers, so good, like the Dare Ya or the Double Dare Ya. and the melt in your mouth. And you have to try the Voodoo Moo Moo. It is the quality brand the Belly Acres team has developed using grass-fed beef with creative homemade toppings in a fun farm setting right here in the city. The goal at Belly Acres, to become even more sustainable as they grow. In Overton Square and in Regalia, the very best quality available in Memphis, burger shakes and smiles at Belly Acres.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
Right now, no new accidents, no delays to report. They're doing some concrete work. They're paving the roads on Kirby Parkway between Messick and Poplar Pike, so just keep that in mind. But other than that, no accidents or delays to report. Keep it right here. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Get them to sign on the line which is dotted.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Gonna put the world away for a minute. Pretend I don't live.
Welcome back. Hour number 3, final hour of the day, final hour of the week here on Sports 56 Mornings. Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd here. No Greg Gaston. Greg returns on Monday. Coming up later in the hour, 10 in a row. Chance for you to win a great prize package. But right now, we head to St. Louis to check in with our buddy from the Cardinals Radio Network, along with Claves Online. He is Mike Claiborne. Hello, Mike.
Eli, what's going on, man?
Not a whole lot. Just trying to stay cool, man. What's the weather in St. Louis?
Well, it's the same. I guess it's a little cooler. We've been on the road, and I got to tell you, we went to Philadelphia and Atlanta, and I think I was more in awe of the heat in Philadelphia than I was Atlanta. And Atlanta can be definitely hot at this time of the year, but it's going on throughout the country. But like as I was telling Zach, I'd rather have this kind of weather than having to wear 4 sweaters.
Exactly. That's what I said earlier. I mean, heat index today is going to be like 115. That's way better than talking about wind chills of like 30.
Wind chill, exactly. So I can roll with it.
The Cardinals got those. Speaking of being in Atlanta, you guys did salvage a game down there last night, getting the win in 11 innings, 3-2. It's been a bit of a struggle here recently for the Cardinals. What have been the issues?
Well, it's a few things. When you don't have your starting pitching staff, and you think about at the beginning of the year, you thought you would have Flaherty, Matz, Waino, Miles Michaelis, and Alex Reyes and/or Jordan Hicks. Well, the only people who are here are Waino and Miles Michaelis, and Dakota Hudson should be in that group too. So that's part of the problem. You don't have enough pitching, and the pitching that we have has a real difficult time getting beyond the 5th inning. Bullpen's been terrific. And these things come in cycles, where you'll have the bullpen not be able to get anybody out, and your starting pitching wastes a good effort because the offense doesn't work. So it's a lot of different things. We just need to get a few people healthy. We need to lengthen the lineup a little bit. And I don't know where we would be if it wasn't for the Memphis Redbirds, because what Ben Johnson and his crew are doing down there and developing players and getting them here to make a contribution is just been incredible. So it's a lot of things, and that's why we play 162, man, because you're going to have those stretches where things aren't going to go well, and you just have to be able to fight through it. Don't pick up any bad habits along the way.
It had to be, I guess, I don't know if it's a good sign, but good to see Liberator with the outing yesterday.
Yeah, it was. He's kind of like one of the keys. To be honest with you, I didn't, if it weren't for the injuries, I didn't think we'd see him until late in the year, because he's still a work in progress. But I think that because of the injuries, he's been thrown in some situations where he's had to learn how to pitch on the job. And this is not a sport that is forgiving for people who don't have the experience and the ability to deal with troubled innings. But, he was okay last night. He did a nice job. But, he just has to stay away from the big inning and the walk. If he can do that, then he can have a pretty good career.
What did you think, by the way, of the Strider kid for the Braves, who's just seemingly striking out everybody?
Yeah, the Cardinals, I think, have the fewest strikeouts in the National League as a team. You would have never known it by last night. And I guess the thing that really kind of makes me scratch my head, every team's got a guy who throws 100, okay? So it's not like they're rare anymore. Yeah. Like, when Aroldis Chapman was around in 2016, you see one or two guys that could throw 100. Everybody's got one. So you would think that these guys would be able to catch up with that pitch because they see it more. But he was throwing a four-seamer that was rising on some guys, and they just had no chance. But he was impressive, there's no doubt. And, the thing is, they had to pull him out of the bullpen to make him a starter. And I don't know who thought it was a good idea to put him in the bullpen.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like a bad decision at this point. Man, should have been starting all along.
Yeah, but, starting it comes with its challenges. Especially guys who have the dominant fastball where you just keep throwing it and throwing it and throwing it. You have to have two, in really most cases, three pitches you can get over for strikes, and you got to have swing and miss stuff. We're lucky that defensively we're pretty good, so we can pitch to contact a little bit more. But every now and then you need a guy who can come in and make guys miss a bat.
Talking with Mike Claiborne, Cardinals Radio Network, also Claibs Online. Follow him on Twitter at Claibs Online. Jack Flaherty, did they bring him back too soon? What happened there? Now, what's the latest with him?
Well, he was in California rehabbing. I expect to see him back today. We get to the ballpark, and it's a shoulder. The severity of the shoulder, we just don't know. I mean, nobody's discussing surgery. It was more inflammation. But Eli, when you talk about shoulder, man, that's always an eyebrow raiser with regard to what else can happen next. Because whenever you hear about a guy with a shoulder, his velocity is down. He couldn't get loose, couldn't get stretched out, didn't have command of his pitches. All those things you always hear with a shoulder. And shoulders, to me, are harder to come back from than Tommy John.
Yeah.
And that's something that, we just don't know. So to sit here and give some sort of diagnosis, I just warn people that shoulders can be a little bit more troublesome and maybe take a little longer to mend. So we'll just have to see how he's faring when he gets back. And let's face it, I don't really expect to see him contribute until next month. Because if he's been down for 2 weeks and maybe 3, then he's got to build himself back up. So what does that require? More starts. He's got to pitch somewhere, and you have to do it soon because the minor league season is over in September. So there's a lot of things that go on that he's got to take into account, and the Cardinals do as well. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed that he can get back and help in some way, shape, or form.
Is Paul Goldschmidt the MVP of the National League right now?
I'd like to meet somebody else who could say they are. I mean, Eli, man, the guy puts work in. He's so prepared. You're not going to fool him very much. He can guess on a couple of occasions. Maybe you get him that way. But, he's got a pretty good idea of what you're trying to do, and he handles it accordingly. Doesn't have many slumps. My only concern is, he plays every day. And, at some point, doesn't that catch up to you? So far, it hasn't. He's always found a way to get on base. He's always found a way to make a contribution. But, man, I mean, you look at the offensive categories. I mean, he's like in the top. I was looking at this the other day. So they have like 15 categories, the basic category. You can expand it if you need to. But I think he was in 12 of the 15 categories, maybe 13, because the one category he was not in was stolen bases and caught stealing. And triples. Those are the 3 that he was not in the top 10 in.
It's crazy.
So, and there was no one else that was even near in every category like he was. So, he's been fun to watch. He reminds me of the year when Pujols won the batting championship when he was with the Cardinals. And Pujols kind of had that kind of year where, you you could get him out, but you couldn't get him out back to back, and just his clutch hitting was always important too.
And then, I mean, Arenado's having a good year too. I mean, those two guys, that's such a great combination.
It is. You know what? If we had a left-handed bat that was more consistent, you could put in between them. And, you know, it may be Gorman at some point. You know, Gorman, he carries a lot of strikeouts with him. He's a hitter with power, if you understand what I mean here. I mean, he's not like the Joey Gallos of the world who just sits there and waits on a 3-run homer. You know, Gorman has the ability to go up the middle, go the other way. You can get him on the breaking ball. You know, I mean, that's been proven. But, you know, it just comes with time. You know, he was another guy I didn't anticipate seeing this early. You know, I know he got off to a great start. But, you know, when you think about the start of the year, what are pitchers doing? Fastballs. You know, they're still trying to stretch out. So, you know, these guys sit on these fastballs, and all of a sudden, you know, they have these lofty numbers. You know, you take them around the block again when guys are a little bit more under control, and then you come to the big leagues where they throw in breaking balls that you haven't seen in the minors. It really kind of changes your dynamic on what you're capable of doing.
So you mentioned Gorman. What do you think of him long term? Like, what is he?
He's a good player. He's a better athlete than I think people would think. He's played second base better than I thought he would. You know, and again, I think he's trying to learn how to be a more consistent hitter, cutting down on the strikeouts. But, you know, he struck out everywhere he's ever been because you have to like some days say, you know what, I'll hit the home run, but I'm not trying to hit one. You know, if you run into the right pitch, it's a home run. So in his case, it's just a matter of just, you know, getting a feel and learning and adjusting along the way. And remember, you're what, 22?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of growth still in front of him. But, you know, he's getting some big-time experience. You know, he's on one of the best infields in baseball with Edman and Goldschmidt and Arenado. So he's learning from that element. And fortunately, we have guys on this team, whether it's Goldie or Arenado or Albert, you know, there's a lot of guys who are willing to help young players. And that's been the great thing about Albert. Albert has been there to mentor and advise and whatever they need. He's there. And, you know, that comes with something. I mean, there's a value to that I hope we'll see down the road.
Talking with Mike Claiborne from the Cardinals Radio Network and Claves Online. I got a text from somebody wanted me to ask you if you think Edman may be just a little fatigued because he's been slumping a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. You know, he plays a lot. And, you know, shortstop is a little bit more demanding in some situations. You know, some people say, well, you know, turning a double play at second is just as much of a challenge as it is going in the hole and, you know, having a long arm in order to throw somebody out. So they both come with their challenges. But I really feel like, yeah, he's just a little worn down. And I thought they were trying to stay away from him last night and let him sit out the whole game. But, you know, duty was needed. And the unfortunate thing is we don't have an off day until the All-Star break. So, you know, you have to be really careful where, you know, maybe he gets some days off, you know, who knows. But, yeah, I think that he's just probably just a little run down. Now, he told Ollie yesterday that he felt his body felt good. And that's great. But, you know, I think sometimes you have to take into account, you know, you show me a guy who says, well, you know, I don't want to play. Yeah. And my body, everybody wants to play. And sometimes their mind tricks them in thinking they're better off than what they are. But, yeah, I think if he can get a day, maybe 2 back-to-back, that'd be good for him.
Yeah, it's just like the pitcher when they says, how you feeling? They don't ever say, man,
I feel great.
I need to come out of the game. I'm struggling.
Right. Come get me. What took you so long? Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't work that way. So, it's part of a season. You know, this season, you know, the game is a grind.
Yeah.
And, you know, these guys are creatures of habit, and they're used to doing certain things. And it'll be interesting to see how certain guys hold up in the second half of the season. And, you know, do they get more days off? Do they drop to a lighter weighted bat? You know, do they not take infield or batting practice certain days out of the week to save their legs? I mean, there's a lot of things you can do to put yourself in a better better situation. But, everybody has their own approach on how they can stay sharp.
Well, and especially this year because you missed that first week or whatever of the season, so you got all these extra double headers, and there's not as it is a grind, even more of a grind this year.
Yeah, you're right. The double headers, and I got news for you. We go to this balanced schedule next year where we play everybody. I don't know how that's going to work because you're going to see one team maybe once, and maybe you have a rain out, and then you're scheduling double headers or makeup games on off day.
Yeah.
I if I was Major League Baseball, and obviously they didn't call me, what's wrong with the minor league way where you have Monday off? And what you do is you take 4 teams and or maybe 8 and say, all right, you guys are going to play to satisfy our national TV commitment, And everybody else is either off or they have a makeup game.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it'll be a floating days out of the month. Maybe it's Monday or maybe it's a Thursday. And you try and do it that way because I'm telling you, man, I think we're going to have some full-scale disasters next year with the direction of how the schedule is going to shake out.
How would you say that the Albert Pujols return has gone?
Well, you would like for it to be better. I just think his presence and his attitude is something that's immeasurable. As I said earlier, he's been very helpful, very positive, very thoughtful. He's been terrific with the media, and that wasn't always the case. So you know what? I think that while the numbers may not indicate he's having a good year or he's helping the team, I think there are a lot of things he does behind the scenes that, in the development of players like Juan Yepez, it comes to mind, that I think will help in the long run. And Eli, it's one of those things where you keep thinking he's got one more majestic swing left in a key situation. Now, the thing that surprised me is that when they get him out, they're not throwing him high, hard ones. You think, man, I'm going to show this old man how I'm going to get him out with some high, hard stuff. They're throwing him slop, change-ups, sliders away, cutters down and in. And he's swinging off his front foot. And if you notice, he pops up a lot of pitches or he'll chase a pitch. But he's, and somebody hung one to him the other day. He hit a line drive, and he was mad at himself because he didn't get on top of it like he wanted to. But, that comes with the territory. But, I think overall, just the way he's been has been good. Again, I would say the stats don't indicate that. So I'm happy that he's here.
What about?
And here's the other thing: who's going to replace? Who we have in the organization was going to take his roster spot?
Yeah, no, yeah, and again, there is value, as you said, to him just being there, let alone anything he's doing on the field. What about Yadi? When is he expected back?
That's a great question. Talked to Oliver Marmol yesterday about it. He said they've been texting. He said he's working out. He's feeling better, but I don't anticipate seeing him until after the All-Star break. The thing is, Yadi came in camp grossly out of shape, and he's been playing catch-up ever since. So it's one of those things where, do we need him? Yeah, darn right we do. I mean, our catching situation has not gotten off to the best of starts. And Austin Romine, has caught more this week than Andrew Kisner. And he's done a good job. I give him credit. He's got 10 years in the league, so he knows what he's doing. I mean, you think about that, Eli. There aren't a lot of catchers that could say, I got 10 years in.
Yeah.
And he's done a nice job. He was gassed, though, last night. I was next to the dugout, and between the base running and the heat and taking a couple of foul balls, he was worn out. And, think about the fact he hadn't been playing a lot. I mean, he played in Memphis for 6 games and played with the Angels, I think, for 9. So it's not like he's had a lot of playing time where he can get himself in a better condition. So, but the answer to your initial question, we don't know about Yadi, but and we don't know if he can help. Yeah. He wasn't very good before he got hurt. So we'll have to wait and see how that pans out. But I think it also raises a bigger question for the Cardinals. Ivan Herrera is going to be a good catcher. but he's not a good one right now. And that's just because of youth, and he needs experience. He needs to catch. He needs to play. He needs to learn how to call a game. But in the meantime, you better go out and find somebody who can still catch. And his offense, yeah, I want him to be able to put the ball in play, but I really need him to be a better catcher than a hitter.
Well, and that's that kind of leads me in. What do you see them doing as the deadline approaches?
Man, because there's so many teams. We truly have the haves that have a little and the have-nots. Cardinals are in the have a little category right now because we've been playing the haves, and the haves are really good. Atlanta's really good. Philadelphia's really good. We're going to see the Dodgers next week. We know they're good. So we're trying to get there. But with that said, with the extra playoff spots, you have more teams that think they can compete. Mm-hmm. And then you have other teams that have just flat out surrendered. Now, the teams that have surrendered, you have to say to yourself, what do they have on their team that can help us? Well, in most cases, nothing. Because if they did have anything that could help us, they'd be a better team. Yeah. So you have to make sure you do two things. You qualify the player for what he is and how he can help, and make sure you don't mortgage the farm. Everybody's going to ask for Jordan Walker or Mason Wynn, and there's a few other guys that they're going to ask for. You can't do it. You just can't, because you got some decisions to make on your big roster here down the road. Does Tyler O'Neill get an extension? Does Harrison Bader get an extension? You got some other guys. Do you lock Tommy Edman up, or do you think you have somebody else in the organization? So you got to be careful not to deplete your organization just for a run that you're not guaranteed to be part of.
It is that's the age old thing of how much do you give up because if it doesn't work out, then you put yourself in a bad spot, especially for these rentals. The priorities are a legitimate starting pitcher. I'm not talking about an innings eater. They can give you 5. I want a guy who makes some people swing and miss. I also want a little bit more length in my bullpen. And thirdly, I need another left-handed bat. Corey Dickerson wasn't the answer. He was hurt most of the year, and he never really got out to a good start. So you need another left-handed bat because Lars Nootbaar has been struggling since day one of the season. We talked about Nolan Gorman in his youth. Brendan Donovan has done a terrific job. Doesn't hit for power, but he certainly puts the ball in play. But I'd like to have a little bit more veteran left-handed bat somewhere off the bench. Well, and, I could probably use another infielder because Edmundo Sosa is really fighting it right now. I mean, it's kind of like, and for all your listeners, remember when you were playing Little League and there was a guy who wasn't a very good hitter, and when there were 2 out in the inning and it was his turn to bat, you go get your gloves because you were about to go back out in the field? Yes,
you remember that? I'm hoping that wasn't you.
I was going to say, sometimes that might have been me. I don't know.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So that's kind of where you are with Sosa right now. I mean, the guy tries. I mean, he's a hard worker, but it's just not working for him right now.
Well,
you got to take that into account.
Before I let you go, I got to get your thoughts on our Grizzlies. We haven't talked to you since they had the nice run in the postseason, the draft, all this stuff.
You know what? I thought that they had a great run. Obviously, losing Morant didn't help their cause. Yeah. I'm still of the belief that they need a veteran, a guy who has really been part of the war of winning. Mm-hmm. And they're hard to find. When he was healthy, and I know he was only there briefly. I mean, very brief. I don't even know if he ever checked in a hotel in Memphis. But an Andre Iguodala, he 5 or 6 years ago.
He never showed up in Memphis.
Right. So my point being, you need a guy who can be more coming off the bench than a starter, because you want the starters to be able to play, but you want this guy to have some meaningful minutes. But I really like their direction of locking up players, and it seems like they can keep the band together for a while. But there's got to be a guy out there that you can sign to an exception and just have him be part of what you're doing. Because, Memphis, it's about to be their turn. Mm-hmm. Now, I know Golden State is still a good team, and they're going to be better because they're going to get Wiseman back. They're going to get some other people back that actually understand what it takes now. They're going to be a really good team. And there'll be some other teams in the West that will contend. But I really think Memphis showed the most growth. And I think what they have to do is make sure that, excuse me, Ja Morant is not out there by himself. You know, you need that other option. You know, you need another scoring option. And when he's not on the floor, you just can't pass the ball around until he's able to come back in the game. You've got to find somebody who can continue to put their foot on the gas pedal. And maybe that's being able to have a big man inside where, you know, you can put him at the free throw line, or is that another guy who can come in and shoot? You know, because these defenses that they run today, they're pretty exotic with regard to what they try and take away from them. So you have to be able to be versatile as well and have more methods of scoring other than Ja Morant. You know, I mean, you had some other guys who gradually broke through, but you have to have a statement maker. And I think Memphis is still looking for that or hoping that they can develop one this year. If they do that, stay healthy, you know, they could go a long way, because the West is kind of going through a little bit of a change. You know, you look at Phoenix, you know, the Ayton situation is one that's up in the air. Chris Paul is, you know, 57 years old. And you got some other guys there that either are going to break through or move on. So they're a team that's in question. You know, Utah's a team that's in question. Portland is a team that's trying to figure out who they are. And the Lakers, you know, you know me a long time. Yeah. The Lakers are my team. But if Kyrie Irving puts on a Laker uniform, I will suspend my Laker card until he's gone. Can't have it. The Clippers, we don't know what they're going to be. You know, they went out and got the guy who was with Houston, and his name escapes me now, from Kentucky. Yeah, John Wall. So, you know, they might be interesting. But, you know, at the end of the day, Minnesota could be a team that could have some fun. You know, I mean, having Gobert and Cat, that's going to be something up front. You know, they got the guard Anthony Edwards, who's a really good player. You know, they can keep Patrick Beverly from making a fool of himself.
Well, he went in the Gobert trade. He's gone. He's part of half the team that went in the Gobert trade.
Oh, he is good. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Well, he'll be out of the league before you know it. Then. So, you know, but I like Minnesota. I love their direction. So, you know, it's a little bit of a changing of the guard. And Memphis should be right there in the front position as far as I'm concerned.
If you look toward the future of it could be Memphis, it could be Minnesota, it could be New Orleans if they get Zion healthy. Like, there's some young teams. Dallas certainly in that mix with Luka, like some of these younger teams that could be that might be your next wave here of teams.
Well, I think you're right. I think they all share the commonality of youth and really, real good skill sets. You know, I think all of them are trying to find that one other piece to what they have. And you touched on New Orleans, and I should have mentioned them earlier. You know, if Zion could ever just get in decent shape, who knows? I would have never taken him in first pick in the draft. I was always concerned about his health. And I think guys of his height have a real hard time, you know, advancing to a superstar level, you know, when they get to the NBA. But you know what? Again, much like Major League Baseball, New Orleans Pelicans didn't call me. I would have been able to help them. But, yeah, it's going to be fun. I think this NBA season is going to be a lot of fun. And, you know, I think is it next year, 24, after the 23 season, the 24 season, don't be surprised to hear an announcement about their TV deal. Because that deal is up, I believe, in 24. And I know there's been a lot of discussion already about it because they're going to find some more partners other than TNT and ESPN. You know, don't be surprised to see them do more things on streaming.
The money
more
keeps
global
going up.
than ever.
The money just keeps going up for that, and that's good for everybody.
You know what? So it was when I was talking to someone, this had to be maybe a month ago. The person is pretty much in tune with what goes on with the NBA and its TV brand. You know, they're finishing up a $24 billion contract. They seem to think this thing may go north of 40.
It's just
40
insane.
billion.
It's insane. Insane money.
Think
that's being
about
thrown
that,
around.
man.
He is Mike Claiborne, Cardinals Radio Network. Cardinals back home. Phillies in town for the weekend. Mike, enjoy yourself up there. Try and stay cool, and we'll look forward to talking to you down the road, man.
Eli, always great to visit with you, and say hello to my good buddy Ben Johnson, man. But he and his team have done a phenomenal job getting players ready. And for all you listeners in Memphis, if you haven't gone out to see the Memphis Redbirds, by all means do so, because they deserve it. I mean, they've done a masterful job in being prepared. So if you get a chance, get out and check them out. I know they serve cool refreshments there, so you don't have to worry about that.
They do indeed. Mike, thanks, man.
All right, man. Take care.
Mike Claiborne for the Cardinals Radio Network and Claibs Online. When we come back, it's time for 10 in a row. Your opportunity to win a great prize package. It is baseball related. That's next here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
If you have damage to your home and have your insurance carrier involved, you need a great contractor. You also need a team that has seen claims of all shapes and sizes, residential or commercial. After our inspection, we'll share our findings and give you our professional opinion. Some people say you get what you pay for. However, our opinion is free. Trust the name you can depend on, like the tens of thousands of families Brian and I have served over the past 20 years here in the Mid-South. Brian Elder Roofing. We'll measure your roof from outer space and share our team's experience for your property and claim. Repaired roofs, replacement roofs, big roofs, tiny roofs, insurance roofs, flat roofs, TPO roofs, asphalt roofs, tile roofs, slate roofs, metal roofs. If your roof needs some love, call me. 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing and Contracting.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Golfers, swing into Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the hottest new arrivals from Cobra, featuring the new LTDX drivers, engineered for the longest total distance with extreme forgiveness. Internal weights create the power core, and hot face technology delivers faster ball speeds at every contact point. 4 drivers to fit every golfer's needs. Swing by Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Let's say you need a new car, so you go to a dealer, right? Wrong. You need to go to Mount Moriah Auto Sales. Why? Because why limit yourself to just one kind of car when you can choose from all kinds of cars, SUVs, and trucks? All different years, all different makes, all different models. Really good prices, too. Now, everyone says that about the money, but Mount Moriah Auto Sales proves it. They work hard to get you the deal you want, even financing. Plus, they have a huge full-service department to help you take care of your car. So many choices at Mount Moriah Auto Sales. They're almost unlimited, with new vehicles coming in every day. Now, these are really good cars and trucks and SUVs that you'll want to drive. And yes, low miles too. It's so easy. Just go to Mount Moriah Auto Sales, tell them what you want, but keep your eyes open, because you might just find the car of your dreams. Mount Moriah Auto Sales makes it all possible. Go to MountMoriahAutoSales.com. Mount Moriah Auto Sales, right on the corner, right on the price, right on Mount Moriah.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone, Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses.
I got a little secret for you. If you're looking for a weekend getaway and night out with friends, drinks atop the mighty Mississippi River, check out the Beck and Call Rooftop Lounge at the top of the Hyatt-centric Beale Street. Unbelievable views of Memphis, the skyline, downtown Memphis, and of course, the mighty Mississippi. Open Sunday through Thursday from 4 until 10, Friday and Saturday from 4 until midnight, a unique whiskey bar with incredible views. It's the Beck and Call Rooftop Lounge. And why not make it a weekend? Have dinner at the Seamus Restaurant, Latin American-inspired fare, floor-to-ceiling windows and patio, also overlooking the mighty Mississippi River. Dinner Wednesday through Saturday from 5 until 9, brunch Saturday and Sunday from 8 until 2. It's the Hyatt-centric Beale Street, the only hotel on Beale Street, walking distance to all the attractions in downtown Memphis. So whether it's a getaway for you and your loved one, or maybe family in town for an event in Memphis, make sure to tell them about the Hyatt-centric Beale Street and the Beck and Call Rooftop Lounge.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back. Greg makes his return on Monday. I'll be out next week, but Greg will be here with Zach all week long. Ran along a little long with Clave, so we'll get right to it. Time now for 10 in a row.
Not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10 in a row.
10 in a row. It's your opportunity to win a great prize package. Today, we put on the line a $25 gift certificate to East Coast Wings and Grill, $25 in piggy bucks from Central Barbecue, and 2 Malco movie passes. Hope you've gone to see Top Gun Maverick by now. Maybe you want to go see the Elvis movie, whatever it is. A couple of Malco movie passes for you. Maybe it's Minions. You want to go see that? You can do that as well with those Malco movie passes. Here is today's category. Mentioned earlier, the Major League Baseball All-Star Game is not next week, but the following week. So in looking forward a little bit to home run events, or rather All-Star events, the Home Run Derby, the modern version of the Home Run Derby, which started in 1985. Today's category is Home Run Derby winners. Home Run Derby winners. The Major League Baseball Home Run Derby. Home Run Derby winners. Again, this started in 1985. I'm not talking about the whole Hank Aaron versus like Willie Mays stuff or whatever that you would see. Like so you can watch on like ESPN Classic. This is the current Home Run Derby, as it's had some evolutions in the way they do it. But Home Run Derby winners. I'm going to give you a name. If they've won the Home Run Derby, you would say yes. If they have not won the Home Run Derby, you would say no. If you get 10 in a row, you are a winner. 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255, the AutoZone listener line to play. $25 to East Coast Wings, $25 Central Barbecue, and 2 Malco movie passes will all go to the winner. Joe is going to lead us off. Hello, Joe.
Hey, Eli. I was just thinking, usually when I was a kid, it was the dog days of summer for sports, but now Summer League, you got the Scottish Open on when you wake up in the morning. It's a lot better these days.
Yeah, there's always something going on. You get the conference expansion stuff happening. There's always something. All right, here we go.
Right.
Home Run Derby winners. Alex Rodriguez.
No.
Aaron Judge.
Yes.
Sammy Sosa.
Yeah.
Fred McGriff.
Oh, the crime dog? I'm going to say no.
Darryl Strawberry.
Yes.
Chipper Jones.
Chipper. I'm going to say no.
Mike Trout.
No.
Jose Canseco.
Oh, that's no.
Ryan Sandberg.
Yes.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Absolutely.
Joe's the best at this game. He waits his month. He comes back. He wins again. He's the best. He's unbelievable. Joe, congratulations. That is a winner. Hold on. He is the GOAT of 10 in a row. There's not even a question.
He is the LeBron James of 10 in a row.
He's like LeBron and Michael Jordan combined in 10 in a row. He's Michael, LeBron, Magic. Take every great NBA player of all time, combine them together. That's what Joe is in 10 in a row. It's amazing. All right, Val and Mario are on hold. I'll give you guys a shot on list number 2. Joe just the good thing is for everybody, Joe can't win again for another 30 days. So the next few weeks, you got free shots at it. Let's see what Val can do. Hey, Val.
Hey, what's up, man? If he's the Michael Jordan, I guess I'm the Luke Longley.
Let's go Judd Bushler. Let's go Judd Bushler for you. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, and actually, let's see how you do. Then we'll make an assessment of who you are. You might be Dickie Simpkins by the end of this, for all we know.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Home Run Derby winners. Barry Bonds.
No.
Ooh. Barry Bonds did win a Home Run Derby. And let's see. Yeah, that you're more Dickie Simpkins at this point. Sorry. Let's see what Mario could be. Who Mario is.
What's up, Eli?
All right, here we go. Let's see who you could be. Let's see if you can become Steve Kerr or John Paxson. Barry Bonds.
Yes.
David Ortiz.
Yes.
Todd Helton.
No.
Albert Pujols.
No.
Cal Ripken Jr.
No.
Oh. I'll give you a Bill Wennington for that performance. We'll go Bill Wennington. But yeah, Val might have been like Brad Sellers. He might have even been Dickie Simpkins. He might have been like not even part of the championship teams.
Dog.
He might have been part of the.
He doesn't get a participation trophy
the
or
teams
anything.
that lost before they started winning. He might have been Brad Sellers. The only thing Brad Sellers like known for in his NBA career is he's the first guy there to celebrate with Jordan after Jordan made the shot. Sellers is like the first guy there. There you go. So Joe, Joe dominates that game. Like it's really incredible because if he's looking at a list, he's doing a hell of a job. Like because he says the answers quickly, and that's not an easy just to find the list of home run derby winners in a real condensed thing. Like I don't know. Like it's incredible. He is absolutely incredible. I tip my cap. I'm not even wearing a cap, but I tip it anyway to Joe and what he does in 10 in a row. Acura of Memphis brings you the third hour of our program each and every day. You can go check them out. They're on Ridgeway over at intersection of 385. Online, AcuraofMemphis.com. Go check them out and check out those beautiful automobiles. All kinds of great automobiles from new to pre-owned, certified pre-owned Acuras. They've got them for you at Acura of Memphis. They got great people that will help you. You can get a lot of information on the website as well. You can even talk with somebody on the website, do a chat right there on the website, and get any information you need about any of the different models of car that they have, whether it be the RDX and the MDX from the SUV line or the TLX or the new Acura Integra, which is coming back. Any of that stuff, you could get plenty of information online, but nothing like going over there, talking to them, and taking a test drive in one of those beautiful automobiles at Acura of Memphis. We are back with our final segment of the week right after this. Sports 56 Mornings, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
It's time to vacation at home with Family Leisure. That's right. Enjoy a vacation in your own backyard with a little help from Family Leisure. Like play gyms and trampolines, they're now $500 off. And those trampolines, by the way, they've got that mesh on the side, so trampolines are now safe and you'll be the hit of the neighborhood. They've got hot tubs in stock and ready to go, and you can get up to $1,000 off when you pick them up. All kinds of do-it-yourself pool specials specials, like savings of up to $1,500 on all in-stock pools when you pick it up and install them yourself. And if you're looking for patio furniture, then stop on in, because they have tons in stock and they're ready for you to pick up. So get ready for that vacation at home with the help from Family Leisure. Family Leisure's Vacation at Home sale. It's happening right now at Witten Road and I-40, where family and fun truly do come together.
Are you thirsty? Looking for the right drink in a unique setting in a great location? Welcome to the Beck & Call Rooftop Whiskey Bar, located high atop the Hyatt-centric Beale Street. Beck & Call is now open 7 days a week with the finest whiskey and the most incredible views of Beale Street, the Memphis skyline, and the Mississippi River. Enjoy this one-of-a-kind rooftop lounge every night of the week, Sunday through Thursday 4 to 10, and Friday and Saturday from 4 until midnight. The Beck & Call Rooftop Whiskey Bar, on top of Beale and on top of the Hyatt-centric Beale Street.
I've always gotten tons of UTIs. Cranberry products never worked for me, and I was desperate for a way to be proactive. I'm Jenna Ryan, CEO and founder of Eucora. We've worked with doctors to develop effective urinary tract health products. Just mix a packet of Eucora with water and drink it when you need support, like right after intimacy. Eucora is helping over 100,000 women stay healthy. Ready to join them? Get 30% off at eucora.com/radio. That's UQORA.com/radio.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. If you need a new roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. I have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with 2 of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time it is to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies and the Redbirds and 901 FC, not to mention Tigers football and basketball, it's going to be a fun year. Thanks to Coach Silverfield and Coach Hardaway and their staffs for their dedication to the student and athletes, the University of Memphis, the City of Memphis, and us fans. Fiveash Roof Services, a proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Power is everything.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
The Las Vegas Raiders have hired Sandra Douglas Morgan as their new team president. She becomes the first black woman to hold that position in the NFL. Raiders have been at the forefront of a lot of things as far as hiring and things go. So kudos to them as they hire the first black woman team president in NFL history in Sandra Douglas Morgan. Wimbledon, the men's semifinal, the only one that will be played, is underway. And Novak Djokovic has been broke 3 times in the first set. And Cameron Norrie, the Englishman playing at home, is now serving for the first set. And he is leading 30-15. Excuse me, that was a double fault. I thought that serve was it. 30-15 he leads as he serves for the first set here. If you did not hear, Rafa Nadal, as was thought to be a possibility after he battled injury to get the 5-set win the other day, he had to withdraw. So Nick Kyrgios. I'm not sure it's a good thing to give Nick Kyrgios the stage of a Wimbledon final. Who knows what might happen Sunday. But Nick Kyrgios is in the final. He awaits the winner of this Djokovic-Cameron Norrie match. And again, Norrie, who has broken Djokovic 3 times already in the first set, is serving to win the first set. And of course, Djokovic the other day lost the first 2 sets and then came back, rallied, and got a 5-set win. And we'll see what happens today. But the 2 winners will meet on, or the winner of this will meet Nick Kyrgios in the final on Sunday at Wimbledon. Meanwhile, Elsewhere this weekend, of course, again, the Grizzlies return to Summer League action in Las Vegas. Saturday and Sunday night, both. They'll be playing in Las Vegas. Mentioned the Cardinals. They are at home as they are taking on the Philadelphia Phillies in the set this weekend. Tonight, by the way, Adam Wainwright against Zach Wheeler. Had, of course, Mike Claiborne on earlier this hour talking about the Cardinals. And, boy, you think about it, it's trade deadline, Major League Baseball trade deadline later this month. You got the All-Star break coming up after next week. So we are moving right along. We're over the halfway point in the Major League Baseball season. Mentioned that we got media days coming up. Big 12 media days will be next week. There'll be a lot of eyes on that, of course, with the Big 12 kind of right in the middle of things as possibly adding teams from the Pac-12 now that USC and UCLA are on the move. Could we get any news on that maybe next week at Big 12 Media Days? The SEC Media Days the following week. Brett Norsworthy, Gabe Kuhn will be down there. Of course, last year it was at SEC Media Days where this round of conference maneuvering kicked off with the big announcement of Texas and Oklahoma. So do we get any more big announcements as far as conferences are concerned over the next few weeks as all of these conferences start holding their media days? The Big Ten has theirs the following week. What if the Big Ten at media days could suddenly announce that Notre Dame was joining the conference? You talk about a bombshell. That would be huge. If all of a sudden they added USC, UCLA, and Notre Dame all in the span of a few weeks. Fortunately, I don't think Notre Dame's making any decisions that quickly, but that would be something. But yeah, it is here. A lot of college football talk coming up over the next few weeks. Baseball All-Star Game. Of course, the Summer League continues. The Vegas Summer League continues through the 17th, I believe it is. So you've got a lot, as Joe said. The dog days of summer, there are no dog days of summer. There's always stuff going on in the sports world, and there'll always be more stories, there'll always be big things, and we'll always be here to talk about them. That's what makes this so much fun. Although next week, I won't be here to talk about them. Normally, generally, there will be somebody here always to talk about those things with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Want to say a big thank you to John Varlas, Keith Carter, Mike Claiborne for joining us this morning here on the program. Again, Greg, he is back on Monday. I will be out all next week. I'm heading to some cooler temperatures to enjoy myself. Going to go see a concert up at Wrigley Field, my first ever concert at Wrigley Field. Go watch the Cubs be terrible at Wrigley Field. I'll miss the opening of Whataburger, but Monday morning, 11 a.m., hey, somebody's got to be first in line. Somebody will be first in line at Whataburger Monday morning. I hope it's you, and I hope you enjoy it. Not you, Zach. I'm just talking generally to the people out there. Whoever wants to be that person.
Unlike other people, I got to work.
That's
I got to
right.
put in some work.
But it's 11 o'clock. You could. Well, you wouldn't be first in line. You wouldn't be first in line at that point. No chance whatsoever. I'll be back a week from Monday. SEC Media Days a week. But otherwise, again, folks, just try and stay cool out there. Again, the heat index is going to be way up there again today, probably 110, 115, whatever. Stay hydrated. Try and stay cool. Find air conditioning. Find shade if you're outside. Eventually, we'll get relief from this. But again, it's always better than 30-degree weather. It could be worse. We could have snowfall and 30 degrees out there right now. We could be talking about wind chill rather than heat index. Have yourself a great weekend. Greg and Zach will be here on Monday. Up next, Wolo and Friends. It'll be J-Mo and Bryant coming your way right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.